All right, we are live.
You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future.
All right, that's my little intro. Once I figure out a better way to play it, I will. But yeah, that's my little intro. Let me go ahead and plug my
And
phone
then
up.
sweet and short. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be
Sweet
trying
and
to use
short.
that just for my videos that I edit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I haven't had time to make an edit video in a while. So most of my
I get
videos have been because I went back to work, so I just don't have time for the editing. So just to let you know, this is being streamed on Facebook. I'm gonna be doing that for a while. Eventually, I'm gonna stop posting my videos on Facebook.
mm-hmm.
Um, just because of the contents on there, and a lot of people been in their feelings about it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not that serious. But hold on.
For sure. So it's just on. You got it on YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just for now, just for now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just letting you know, any future videos with me and you, it might not be on Facebook.
Oh, okay. I got you.
All
I
right,
got you.
all right. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. I see we got people already coming in. Let's see what's going on here. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Thank you for coming in. I know, sorry, family, that we running late. You know, boy, all he do is teach all day. So right after class, he came right in here to, you know, just to share some knowledge with Neo. He came to visit your girl Neo. So I don't really feel like I need to say much about you besides I'm officially telling my family, yo, this is one of my teachers. I'm gonna officially say I am a student of yours. After talking to you for hours on the phone, listening to your information, being that you get me, understanding what I'm saying, I feel like, you somebody who's like well versed in the knowledge. It seems like you're very educated. It seems like you study all from different points of perspective. And you don't make me feel dumb when I talk to you. You really don't. You really be like, okay, Neil, what you talking about is A, B, and C, and what you talking about is DFG. Like you keep breaking
Mhm.
it down because it's like you got an idea what I'm trying to say, but I like how you able to help me bring that out, especially with the free will thing. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we can just get right into the show.
For sure, for sure. So, as you can see, my name is Shekhem Ra. I am uh, my profession, actual profession, is an astrologer. So that's what I do, right? 5 days a week, right? Um, 52 weeks a year. That's my profession. I teach it, right? I've been practicing it for over 20 years. I'm formally affiliated with the Asar Society, so I was a priest there for quite some time. Of course, left and doing my own thing now. But if you're familiar with Asar Society, you know that's an ancient Egyptian type of spin on spirituality, right? They utilize and connect to certain West African practices and other traditional practices around the world. So that's kind of a little bit of my background in regards to what we're talking about today. My actual degree is in psychology, right? I have a BS in psychology, so that's my quote unquote training, if you will. But um, a lot of people don't know who I am. I kind of stay in the background. I stay in the ethers, like myself, Asaram Ka, a few brothers that are out here that we're deep in the knowledge, but we don't really get out there and hoorah, rah, rah, because, sometimes it's better to do more behind the scenes than out front. So it's a little bit about myself, but we can definitely get started. If anybody have any questions, feel free to ask, drop them in, and definitely will elaborate if you want to know more.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, okay. Well, I say let's just go ahead and get into it since we're kind of running late.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, I had a discussion with you about free will and destiny. Simple question. Do you believe we have free will?
Um, and your audience will probably learn, right? Because you already know, right? I'm careful about what I say with regards to that word, right? Because words are
Yes.
spells, and I like to keep my mind as spell free as possible, right? So that we can make sure that we see reality for what it is. And so belief denotes the absence of knowledge. I do have beliefs. I don't want people to think that I don't. But when it comes to those types of um, topics, that's not something I believe in. Right? That's something I acknowledge to be real. And acknowledging that when we talk about the word free will, we get confused. We get kind of um, distracted because we're looking at a word for all intents and purposes that doesn't exist. It's an amalgam. It's two words put together. And so you have one word that denotes something that is one part or a type of concept, or it's a concept, and you have another word that's a concept. So when you try to marry two concepts, if they're not congruent, right, reality doesn't reflect the concept.
Okay.
So reality, we look at it, everything in existence obeys laws, doesn't it?
Yes.
Right? Everything obeys laws. There's nothing that exists outside of law. Nothing. Even the supreme being, and I use that word because I try to stay away from God and whatever personal, encapsulation you've come up with. There's many names, but what we talk about is what we know is the ultimate reality, which we call the supreme being. It follows laws. It has to in order to create reality. We talk about the law of thermodynamics, the law of self-preservation, the law of gravity, right? These are things that you can't supersede. You can bend, but you can't break.
Mm-hmm.
People say, well, what about like people living out of space? Trust me, there's a consequence to violating or bending that law. Because once you come back, you're atrophied. Your muscles are weaker. You actually shrink back. You get taller when you're in space.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come back, right, that gravity shrinks you what? Right back down, doesn't it?
No, they like compress. Yeah, and I
Yes.
heard that. Yeah, and I think they don't age.
They
Uh,
age differently. They still
yeah.
age, but they age different. So,
Mm-hmm.
right, you can bend, but you can't break it. When we're here on this plane, there's laws that are set. If there's laws that are set and those laws precede you and they'll be here after you, then you operate within the context of law.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we operate in the context of law, then what is free will? Well, nothing's free, right? Everything has some consequence to it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we can throw the word free out because free means the ability to do whatever is in your mindset, capability, and so forth, meaning that there's no range to free. It's open. There's no enclosure, there's no restrictions. It's just you can do whatever you like. And we know that no one on this planet can do just whatever they like. Just to give you an example about free will, the country that we live in has laws that stipulate you have to be an American citizen in order to run for a president. That is not something, let's say someone wants to come from Cambodia and wants to run for president in the
Yeah,
United
they
States
can't.
today. That's a law that's been that precedes that person that will not change.
Mm-hmm.
There are laws, things that are in, I didn't say commandments, laws that are in place. One
Mm-hmm.
of those laws is if you go without oxygen for an extended period of time, you die.
Yeah.
It's a law, right? But you can bend the law, but you can't what? Break the law.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to diet, I can go so long without food, but eventually my body will succumb to starvation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a law. Water, right? These are the fundamental basis of reality. All beings need these things. So you can't escape those things. If you can't escape it, you don't have what?
Free will.
Free will. So
Absolutely.
right there is a checkmate. We go a little further.
All right. So what about the will?
Well,
Break
the
down the
free,
second
the
part.
free, free part we know is not free, right?
Right. So
That's why we say
now,
we go a little deeper. The will part is the trick, right?
okay, break
And
down the will.
so
Mhm.
when I said Neo, I will call you today, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't mean I did anything, but it says I. But I'm putting in the parameters of what I'm thinking about doing. It doesn't mean I've done. You can say I will go to the store. It doesn't mean you've done anything, right?
Right.
So will is just an intent, right? Will until it becomes, and you can make will bigger than an intent, but it starts off with an intent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that will, right? If I my will, we get will kind of confused with choice, and that's where we get locked into free will, free choice. There's no
Mm-hmm.
such thing as a free anything.
Mm-hmm.
People say,
Right.
"Oh, well, everything's supposed to be free." No, the law of the universe says that there's an exchange, a fair exchange. So free, when we know that there's a fair exchange, and now we're talking about will, and will says, well, you're just putting out an intent. You haven't done anything, so the intent has to have something behind it, which is force. Once you have that, then you can enact your will. But
Mm-hmm.
if I said, I want ice cream versus cake, right? That's not your will. That's a choice. That's a preference, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Preference doesn't mean that you've done anything other than lean one way or the way
Mm-hmm.
or the other, right? I prefer to go to the movies over here versus over here. You thought you made a choice, but it's a preference.
Right.
But real inherent will, when you will something, there's only one thing that you can will in this existence that you can control, and that's your lower nature. That's
Mm-hmm.
the response pattern that you put out with stimuli or with things that come to you. You can control your reactions.
Mm.
Really, there's not much else that you really have full control over.
Yeah. And you know what else you taught me though? Something we do have somewhat of a control of. Remember when you told me about the breath and the breathing?
Well, the breath
Or
is the key to the will,
yeah,
right?
you remember when you
Yeah,
taught me that how
right.
all the other functions that we have, like our heart beats on its own and all that stuff, but we can actually and we breathe on our own, but we can actually stop and hold our breath.
Absolutely.
You know?
Until,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you see how you have a range, right? You can
Yeah.
get so far, but life says, I still need oxygen. The body says, I still need oxygen.
Yeah, it forces you to take in the gas.
So
Yeah.
within the context, you have some ability to maneuver, but you still have law, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, when you said that to me one day we was on the phone, I went to bed like I never even thought about that. You know what
Mhm,
I'm saying? I was like, when he was like, yeah, Neo, but can't you hold your breath? And I'm like, yeah, but I breathe on my own. Oh, yeah, you can hold.
mhm. It's dual
So,
function, yeah. So the
yeah,
breath is the key. It's the steering wheel.
yeah, you had me in deep thought about that breath and spirit because, you know, um, I kind of connect the breath and the spirit with the same thing. Like I told people, there's
Mhm,
some stuff in the Bible I don't disagree with. That I feel
mhm,
like they, you know, try to express their their concept using things that within nature. And we know breath is something we can observe. We all doing it right now, breathing. And we
mhm.
know usually when we look for a sign of life, what's the first thing we check?
Breath.
And,
Check the breath. Yeah,
and then we're
right.
like, well, we can't tell if they breathing. We check the pulse. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm, mhm.
So, and anytime 911 is an emergency, first thing they say is the person
Is a
breathing.
person breathing? Right, right.
So,
Is there a sign of life? Right.
yeah, yeah,
But
you
the
had me
thing is,
holding my breath, playing around one day,
see,
just
see, right.
being
But when
weird.
you control the breath, control the breath, will the breath, guide the breath, then you can begin to control the thoughts.
Yeah,
And that's when you begin to engage in sacred science.
yeah, and that's
Right?
yeah. And I named this, and I told someone I officially chose who I want to be my teacher
Well,
in the
I'm
sacred.
honored.
Yeah, no, you be. I'm telling you, you make me do research and look up stuff, and I was like, you know what? It's the way you kind of like be patient with me. You get what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
you don't make me feel like you're not condescending when you speak to me. You don't make me feel like oh, she's unlearned because you can kind of see that the wheels are turning up in here. And
Hmm.
like you know, and Neo sees shit from different points of perspective. So me disagreeing with you with a concept doesn't mean I'm saying that person's wrong. I'm just trying to tell them like I think I lean more to a stronger perspective on why I'm disagreeing. So let's go forward with the free will thing though. So the concept of free will, what do you think is the miseducation when people hear the word free will? What do you think what do you think they think it is? I don't know if you've seen my video with Minister Trey Williams, but he thinks it means to make choices. You already broke that down. But for as the concept itself, what do you think the misrepresentation of what people think free will, like
I
what's
can
being taught to them?
I can do what I want.
Hmm.
That that and back to the default word, God has given me the ability to do whatever it is I so choose.
Hmm. Did you
Well,
see the video of me and Vortex?
I did watch. I watched it, and I didn't get to the part where you came to the crux of it, but I did see some of the dialogue.
Did you understand his perspective about being gods and that we control everything? That
Yes,
we what he believe, I believe that we are a god. He believes we are the god. You know,
right.
I see them differently. So how do you feel about that perspective?
So you are a supreme being,
Hmm.
right? When I say supreme, let's just say supreme being. What is a supreme being? Let's look at the ranges of beings that we have in front of us to pull from to see if they would be on the level of supreme, right? Because we're
Hmm.
talking about man, and man is supposed to be the reflection of whatever is above, right?
Hmm.
So if the above is right, the quintessential it, right? You are the quintessential it, but you should be able to see your quintessential itness within the construct of your existence of reality. So we have beings that have, right, the ability to display intelligence, right? We talked about this, I think, a little bit as far as the brain size,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, you talked about the elephant, how big
Right,
their brain is
right,
compared to ours, but you know, elephants can't.
right.
What you said, what separated us from animals again was our ability to reason and logic. Was
hmm
that? Yeah, I
And
think it's
and to, there's several things, but one of them is to reason logic and to self-recognize.
recognize. Yeah, you did say that. You absolutely did.
And if
So.
you can self-recognize, we take it for granted because it's something we do inherently. But when you understand things, right, it's not something that's common within the animal kingdom.
Hmm.
It's not. In fact, only humans can do it.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen the mirror test where the ape sees the mirror, right? And
Yeah,
he
but
gets
I meant to tell you I did see it on one where they put like a like they marked the side of the chimpanzee's face to see if he would recognize, and he was. It looked like he was trying to rub it off.
the chimp is the right. He's like,
Yeah,
okay, right? He's
he.
at the he's at the crux, but he still can't. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, hey, like that's me, and me is who. Like you
Hmm.
articulate who me is. That's
Hmm.
only the supreme being can do that.
Hmm.
Only a supreme being can do that. A
Hmm.
dog, a monkey, a cat, a rat, a chimpanzee, a goat, and you name it. None of them
Hmm.
can self recognize,
Hmm.
which inherently shows that you are a vehicle for the supreme being to what? Recognize
Hmm.
itself.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was trying to tell him. Like I kind of told him the reason why I believe that we are a god, if you want to use that word,
Mhm.
is that I feel like we are just a, what's the best way I like to say it? A ocean. Like imagine the supreme being or the supreme consciousness is the ocean. You know, life is sustained in the ocean. You know, the whole command. Like I'm just using Earth as an example, like
Mhm.
nature. I'm using
Sure.
the ocean. I told him I just feel like we just a drop.
That's all you
Like,
are.
like, like
And
I told
water.
him,
Same
I said, because
water.
that drop, I can't
Yeah.
keep a killer whale alive with a drop of the water. But if that
Right.
killer whale is in the whole
Ocean.
ocean, yeah, it can sustain life. But I'm
Right.
just a drop of that, killer. So I was trying to tell him it seems like we were designed to be limited here on this
And
in
the
this
supreme being is limited.
realm. So that's why I was telling him it seemed like to me.
Yeah.
So when you say the supreme being is limited, try to go more into that.
So if so the supreme being, so you don't see you don't look in the sky and just see a planet pop up, do you?
Let's see a planet pop up.
Like,
No.
you don't see a star just appear.
Well, I see shit fall out the sky all the
Well,
time.
I
I'm a
mean,
truck
falling
driver.
stars, sure, comets, right, or meteors, right. But I'm
I
saying
don't
like
know.
you don't
I be
nothing,
seeing
just
some.
nothing new apparatus just pops up,
Okay, I feel you.
right? It's
Yeah,
been
but I,
there for what, billions of years, hasn't it?
yeah, but I
Remember
seen.
I told you the keys to reality are what?
Mm-hmm.
Time and space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the supreme being comes through and manifests itself through what? Time and space.
Mm-hmm.
Galaxies forms through what? Time.
Um,
It doesn't just instantly make a galaxy,
mm-hmm.
right? Solar systems form over time.
Mm-hmm.
Minerals are, right? Diamonds are made up what? Over what? Time.
Mm-hmm.
The supreme being follows the same set of rules that it presents to us because you are it in miniature.
Mm-hmm.
So if it creates through time, guess what you got to do? You got to create through time too, don't you?
Yeah, I agree with you that with that because I even told when me and DMG we keep trying to we just keep missing we keep our show together. But I was telling him I said, you ever thought like why we started off like with nothing? Like when when we were like in the caveman period story time. We like you said we got the rock and the hammer and we just started banging, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
now we can invent rocket ships to go to the moon. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I was telling him when people kept asking me, what do I feel like our purpose is in life? I said, I can't really give you a definite 100% answer, but I feel like our purpose is to evolve. I'm just watching our history from what we know is like the origin to where we are now. And I was
Hmm.
like, we went from banging rocks and sticks together and rubbing sticks together to make fire, and now we can send a rocket ship to the moon, and we using the stuff we find here on Earth
Hmm.
to make
Hmm.
these things up, like how to
Right.
invent plastic and all these little chemicals, and and we
Hmm.
finding these substances on Earth and creating them, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
So can you imagine? I told him that the sky's the limit. Can you imagine what else we can come up with concepts that we have not yet discovered?
Sure. And I mean, the future holds a lot of promise in that regard, in the sense that we've advanced within 100 years rapidly, right? But
Mm-hmm.
technology doesn't denote wellness, right? Doesn't denote sanity. The more technology we get, the more insane we seem we become, right? I remember as a child, you would know there's, people that are of certain characters and types, but it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't as plentiful as it is now because we have technology. We can see all of the decadence and the craziness. We can see a lot of positive, but we do see more negative, and that is just a byproduct of technology. But the thing is that we were talking about earlier how we're just that drop. You're just a piece of the supreme being, and that the form and function of who you are, the form and function of who we are, is the point of why we're here. And if you look and contrast us to other creatures, you have no real specialization skill set. You're not special anyway. Lions, they can hunt and eat, with their claws and their teeth. I mean, everything has a specialty. Everything has something it can do within its form and function. But man, right? What can man really do? Right? You can't kill with your bare hands, right? You can't run fast. In comparison to animals, you are weak. But what you do have is this. And this is what separates you from the rest of the creatures, you being a supreme being. So if you're a supreme being, that means you can rule over your environment. You can control your reactions. You can respond, not react, respond accordingly. So, in that vein, right, if you can respond, react accordingly, the Supreme Being has created you as a vehicle to give itself expression, to reflect back to itself, so it can see itself in its fullness. You can see, right? I can look out and see there's a moon, right? Well, I can start to question and ask. One of the things that man is built to do is to create meaning. And when we start adding meaning in, hey, there's a moon. Why is there a moon? What does the moon do? Who put the moon there? Right? We start to ask those questions. And eventually you get back to a point where you begin to look back to yourself. And that's what we call self knowledge or self realization.
So real quick, what do you think the supreme being, if you had to you describe words, like the concept of what is a supreme being? Oh, I'm sorry, my audio. I'm sorry, I had to turn off my
Mm-mm.
camera for a
You
second.
asking me and I'm answering.
Oh wait, what are you saying? The
As soon as I say something, what happens?
sound? Like what do you
No,
mean?
I limit it, right?
You
I try to put something on something that can't be named, right?
yeah, I knew you was gonna go there.
I had to be quiet, right? Because you're
Yeah,
asking me
I
something
like
that
that.
I can't answer, right?
I like that. I like that a lot.
Right.
So I think I was reading I was reading some philosophy on Taoism, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like what the guy, I forgot his name. I think it's like Laws.
I would say.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was saying that you can't name it. You'll be a fool for trying. Like
Right.
so,
As soon as I
like
do that, I'm already in a
yeah, that was
direction.
real. I like how you did that because I'm sitting up and looking at the screen like, wait, what? Can he not hear me?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. The
As soon as I
boy.
do that, we're in trouble, right? So if I leave it for your interpretation, then that means you literally become, right? And it is a concept. I got you. I got you, Supreme Being, right? It's a
Hmm.
concept. But inside of concepts, we denote and create understanding, right? And understanding is key to navigating your life in an effective way.
Hmm.
So it is a concept. All of these things are concept. Words are concepts, right? Pictures are concepts. We live in a world of concepts. Man is a conceptual creature, isn't he?
Hmm.
Right? We're a conceptual creature. So when we say concept, I get it, right? But that's a mute point. But nonetheless, when we really talk about man and really understanding who and what we are, then you begin to see how the supreme being has put all of the qualities that preceded us into us. That's why we would talk about evolution. I kind of it's a silly idea
Hmm.
because evolution means that, for example, and people talk about, and this is where people do make sense, but they don't go any further with it. A dog is a dog, right? It's gonna be a dog. Ape is an ape. It's not gonna become anything other than what it is. So if evolution was real, we would still see other creatures still changing within the construct or within the context of the construct. There, things are stuck, right? So what evolution really is to me is the unfoldment, the natural unfoldment of the potential of what the creature is to its fullness, meaning that everything has its last result. You don't look at a seed of a tree, right? You don't look at a seed and see the tree. You just see the seed. If I said the seed is the tree, you'd be crazy, right? Because you'd be like, no. But the seed goes through a process. It goes through a germination process. That's the first stage,
Hmm.
right? Maybe the first stage of germination is right the reptile process because we have a reptile brain. Then
Yeah.
the tree comes into a sapling, right? From that it comes to a sapling. The sapling now has the ability to continue, but it does. It's not fullness because it can't produce fruit. Think it's to a stage where it's an adult, but it still doesn't have fruit. Then, of course, then it bears fruit. So these are all stages, and then the process restarts again. So this is how I look at when it comes to reality and who we are, what we are. You are just the final stage of a process that preceded you, so that the supreme being can continuously self-reflect. I asked the question, and this is where people get me. If you say that there isn't something, let's say the supreme being is a concept, you look out in nature and you see a leaf bug. A leaf bug. The leaf bug didn't look at the leaf and start making its body like the leaf, right? Something did it for it, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Some agent acted upon its physical structure to create it to look like a leaf.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to. It's a head scratcher, right? Because
Yeah.
how does it do that? How does that creature bridge the gap between I need to look like that leaf from where I am now? There's something that did it. Something internally. I'm saying not externally as spooky whatever. Something internally bridges the gap and then
Mm-hmm.
allows it for it to adapt and change based on what is needed, and it does so. But that is an internal process, and that is what you could consider an act of the supreme being. And these acts are everywhere. You see all kind of creatures blending in with their environment, mastering their environment, becoming one with their environment, and it's instinctual. It doesn't know it, so there's something that has to be knowledgeable for that thing to happen, because nothing is by accident, nothing is arbitrary. Everything has something behind it where there is a law or a rule or regulation. If there's law, rule, regulation, there's order, there's intelligence. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense?
Yeah, because the way you just summed it up the whole time while you were speaking, when I was trying to, grasp what you're saying, I was just thinking about consciousness.
Right.
You was like there is something, and I feel like we all have a piece of the divine consciousness for that bug to develop a characteristic where it start looking like a leaf,
That's right.
and we know that. I remember I had a conversation with a guy named Domo, and one thing he said, if you study us and study nature, it seems like everything we do is to find a way to survive. You know what I'm saying? Like how what's another example of an animal like the giraffe? You remember they said ancient giraffes had short necks, but yeah, so but over time they necks grew so they
Right.
could eat you know, I forgot it's a certain type. Is it? Could they only eat a certain type of
A
tree
leaf
again?
on the tree. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think yes. I think it's just a certain kind that they like, so they can reach above. They were saying like the giraffe neck,
But
you know.
the draft did it to itself.
Like,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's an intelligence that is within it that allowed it to do that.
hmm
But you know what I mean? Like, where it's we're so scared sometimes to acknowledge a reality that's evident.
hmm
But then we turn around and we go to something that's external or something that's arbitrary to try to reason it out, and it's right there
hmm
in your face. You cannot tell me that the creature created itself and designed itself to do that. It's just something within it has the power to change. And you're right, survival is the key. But man has we've surpassed survival. Survival is nothing to us. We thrive, right? Animals survive, man thrives. We can control our environment. We don't have to want for food, for water, for shelter, right? We can provide for ourselves above and beyond the environment. That's how you know you're the supreme being, because you can control your reality to a degree. And that's what the supreme is, what God is all about, the creator, right? Or creatress, whatever you want to put on it. But that's when you get into ancient sacred science. Sacred sciences understood these things because these people were doing, our ancestors and people of indigenous nature were doing this for thousands upon thousands of years. You've just had this civilization for 250 years in America. 250 years compared to 2,500 years in Kemet. Which one is going to out have more information on the internal processes of man's being? Not physiologically, not anatomically, but I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, psychologically, right? Those people that studied man and looked at man for a longer period of time is going to have more data, more insight, more references. We're just now getting to the point of understanding energy and matter when Africans have always understood energy and matter. That's
hmm
nothing new to us, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, you got to consider in 1,000 years, what will man know in the sense of the inner reality of life? Will he figure out that maybe there's something that is autonomous to him, that guides and moves him, that moves all things, that we call the supreme being? I mean, at one point, at some point, we may begin to see, think about it like this. In the 1950s, if I'd have brought you a cell phone, right, you would have looked at me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just the
Call it
1950s.
call it sorcery.
Yeah, like, ooh, right? But now we know it's science. You see what
Right.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So as we progress, there's going to be things that we begin to unlock that are the inner secrets of man's being, which have already been unlocked because those people did the process and the work. They controlled the breath. You control the breath, you control the thoughts. You control the thoughts, you control your mind. You control your mind, you control your actions, right? That's just common logic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many people sit and control their mind on a daily basis? Do you know any?
I don't know.
Right? How many people sit and gain control over just your breath? Remember, I told you if you can breathe at a rate of 9 breaths per minute, you enter into the what we call the alpha state of as far as brainwave patterns. Then you can do different things in that brainwave state that you can't do in the beta wave state. This is science, right? So, we're learning, we're getting there. Psychology at its best is maybe 100 years old at best. 100. And at that, neuroscience is at best 40 years old. So, you know what I mean? Like, we're still getting somewhere. We talk about just the brain. Did you know that the synapses in the brain, between the spaces in the brain, I think it's called it's 1 millionth of a centimeter. That means that space, and I mean, there's a space there, but it's 1 millionth of a centimeter. That little space, right, is big in comparison when you open it up. It's massive. The space between the synapses, or the synapse is what the space is called, between the dendrites. That space, right? That transmission of energy or electricity or whatever you want to call it is quantum. It's on a
Mm.
lower level. So you are a quantum computer. You are a walking quantum computer. That's how you build quantum computers, because the quantum computer builder has to be a quantum computer.
Mm. Yeah, I'm also looking into some quantum physics too. I've been trying
Quantum.
to find different books and audibles and have everybody describe what it is. And the best answer I heard is anybody who says they understand quantum physics doesn't understand quantum
Read this book.
physics. Okay, what's that? I'm going to write that down. What is that? Space, time, and let me blow it up so I can see you. Let's see. Can I blow you up? Wait. Thought I could blow you up. No, it blew me up. How does it?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know how to use StreamYard like that. But hold on. I was
This
trying to blow
book,
you up, but I don't know how to make it do it.
excellent book.
All right, what's the name of it?
Space,
Space,
time, and consciousness.
time,
Remember, I told you these two
and
are the keys to physical reality. This is the key to reality, and
and who
behind it is
is who
consciousness.
is the book from? The fifth. Who is it? Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, got it. Thank you.
Mm.
All right, definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah, check it out. You'll get a lot out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but quantum. You see, our ancestors were quantum. We just didn't want to, we don't want to see it as that, but they're quantum. They're on a level that deals and goes beyond, right, the third dimension. And so when you get to understand that, what do you see? How do you know that, Rob? Well, the fourth dimension is it's about consciousness of the inner realm. And like I told you, if you're mastering your inner realm, don't you know more about those levels of consciousness more than someone that's just external or looking at it from just a um, materialistic point of view, right?
Yeah,
You know what I
that
mean?
was me before I met you. You remember?
Hey,
Yeah.
Thank you. I can
You
rub
remember?
elbows, right?
Yeah, you remember when I first had a conversation with you about
Hmm.
conscious? What I kept saying, it's just a function of the brain.
Oh, it's just the
What's the
brain. It's the mind. It's just the
It's
brain.
just a
Like,
function of. I don't get this. Or what do you mean? It's just consciousness, just a function of the brain.
right.
You know,
And
but
what we got to is a type of consciousness versus consciousness itself,
I
right? Because
still feel like it's a function of the mind, but that's I mean your brain, but that's a whole nother. But
remember,
you made me go dive deeper
well,
into it.
this is the thing that you. This is how you know it's not, because the mind can't change itself.
The mind can't change itself.
Mm-mm. A mind is the input-output device,
Hmm.
right? Whatever I put in your mind, I get out, don't I?
Somewhat,
Yeah.
but how?
If I tell you from a child, right, you're an idiot. I feed you that as a diet, right?
Oh, yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And I'm pumping into you, and I put things on TV, right?
The programming
It's right. I said input. What?
output.
That's all the mind is.
Hmm.
So what changes the input?
I
How do
don't know.
you? Something can control the input and output.
See,
The
that's the mystery that I'm trying to get people to see where I'm going. I believe, remember, I don't know how many videos you saw of me talking to people. I believe that you and yourself is not the same thing. And I keep telling people
well,
your mind,
the self and the you are different.
yeah, I guess you could say it that way. But I
So
kind of
you
got,
are you. You're Neo. That's you, right? But the self, we have the same self.
okay, so where I'm going with this, because I kind of know what I'm trying to say, but I've been trying to find a better way to articulate this.
Hmm.
The consciousness thing helped me understand our ability to observe our experiences, right?
Right. Yes. And if you're the observer, right, you can't be that which is observed, can you?
Right.
So you said the same thing in a different way, right?
Okay.
Right. If you're the mind, you observe your mind, don't you?
Okay. So you follow me on that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
All right.
watch. You see your mind. You see your thoughts. You see your emotions.
I keep in your imagination. I keep telling
So how
everybody.
could you be what you see? Right.
I
See.
keep trying to tell
Right.
them.
Right.
So, but I was just
See.
curious.
See. See. You already admitted it right there. See
Yeah.
consciousness. Right. See.
Yeah, but I said because after talking to you, that's why I'm officially calling you my teacher under the
Yes.
sacred science. I'm telling you, you have no idea. You got neo brain, tick tick tick, like you know. So, cause I said after I got off that video with you and old girl, I was
Hmm.
like, hmm. Nah, he's sitting up here talking about something he don't came out of his body. So you remember I was sitting up here like he talking about something he don't came, and I thought I came out my body, but I checked it off as a dream that I set up and saw
Hmm.
myself before, But I was like maybe I'm dreaming. But I said let me go ahead and see what this quantum physics and
How
all
could
this.
you see yourself?
Yeah, and I said let me go ahead and do some research. And then when I came across different philosophies and stuff like that, and once I realized that I was observing to observe and in consciousness, because nothing exists without consciousness. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Nothing like God or anything. You know, concept of God, nothing. If it's not
Nothing.
right, nothing exists. But this is where I'm still struggling with this because I think
Mhm.
Vortex tried to help me, and I'm trying. I only use this because it's affected me personally. Intrusive thoughts or me having anxiety, those things just happen. And
Mhm.
I know that I'm observing it, and I can tell myself like, "Yo, you're not in danger. There's nothing wrong." But it can just happen. Nothing has to trigger it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I know how it makes me feel. I know how I don't like it. I know if I can make it stop and it never happen again, and all I got to do is say stop, it never happen again. I would have been said that. Just like
Mhm.
sometimes when I get in people and they be like, "Yo, don't panic," and I'm like, I'm not trying to. My brain just doing it. But the other side of me that I can sense in myself knows I'm not in danger.
Right.
But my brain is telling my body it's time to fight or flight, time to fight or run.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
the heart rate speeds up, the muscles tense, and then after it's over, you exhausted. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, and you
Mhm.
gotta go take a nap or something, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
how do you like with that?
Well, the first thing that we practice is a self-centering meditation in
Hmm.
in sacred science. Um, one of the things that we recognize is um, you have more control over your physiology than you think, right? You begin to understand that, for example, one of the meditations that we teach our students to do, right,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is scratch an itch with your mind, meaning that, when you get a little itch, right, don't scratch it with your hand, right? Take your
Mm-hmm.
mind, use your breath, and connect to that itch and see if you can resolve the itch from within instead of without, right? That's one of the practices of self-centering. When you begin to understand that, wait a minute, that reaction is physiological and anxiety is physiological. It's slightly emotional too, though, but it's more the distress and the tension that's built up on top of the mental and emotional connection. And so one of the first things you learn again, and I don't like to seem like it's a one-stop answer for all things, but when you begin to do it, it just changes how things function. And it literally is your breath. Upper thoracic breathing is one of the things that creates um, anxiety. Upper, you breathe up here,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the natural breath is from down here, from your diaphragm. And if you notice, the more you get tense, the more your chest starts to clench up and your shoulders tighten and your
Mm-hmm.
neck tightens and then you get a headache, right? So because
Mm-hmm.
all of this energy is squeezing in when
Mm-hmm.
you need to let go and release. And through breath work, that's one of the things that we begin to do is to control the response patterns that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So anxiety, I don't want to get into technical stuff, but you know, to be anxious is a high rev energy, right? You're constantly revved up. You're anticipating something that's going to happen that
Mm-hmm.
may not happen,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, that anticipation, if you ever understood, like when you sit there and you're in a space of high rev, you can
Mm-hmm.
you can turn the idle down, but it takes about 10 to 20 breaths, thorough breaths from the thoracic, that
Mm-hmm.
will relieve anxiety extremely quickly,
So
right?
if I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack, try to
Mhm,
tape in some real deep because I do that.
mhm,
I actually, that's why I'm gonna sit up here like listen to you. I'm like, I have been taught to breathe it out, and
right,
take long sleep. But like I told them, it just sucks when it happens without no reason. I can be
right.
laughing and joking, and
Unprovoked, right.
yeah. And I remember one time, I was embarrassed. One time it happened to a former boss of mine. He was
Mhm,
telling me some stuff to get ready for our shift, and
mhm,
it just hit me, and I couldn't even hear him while he was talking to me because my brain was like, run,
mhm,
fight. I was like, what the fuck? But
mhm,
then after it was over, I was like, yo, this shit sucks. I need to reduce my stress, and I'm trying to eat healthier. I take vitamin D. I've been
mhm,
trying to find ways. But I think the reason why I use that example when I talk to people about the being able to observe and being an observer and stuff like that. If
mhm,
I could never have panic, I would never do that. I don't think I'm making myself happy. It's like it seems like it's just a function of the brain that keeps
mhm.
happening. Because to me, it's a psychological thing. That's what the doctors tell me.
It's psychological partially, it's partially physical.
Hmm.
There's what I would suggest for you to do is to invest in a good inositol choline vitamin.
Well, say
Choline,
that
no,
again.
inositol choline.
Put that in the chat.
Yeah.
No, on the private chat. Because look,
Mhm.
you see, I'm leading try what? So, but peace family. While he writes that down, can y'all please like the video? Y'all know how I like it. You know how I love it. Pop that like button, cherry. Pop it. Hit that like button, please. So and thank y'all for joining. I see my views is a little up than normal, but I appreciate it. I see y'all. All right.
Peace.
Yeah, that's Mr. Smooth voice right here. Really, it's something about Rella's voice. If we was best friends, I probably would call him. Hey, you want to read me a book? This looks slick. Can you read me a bedtime story?
Mhm.
Like I feel like Rella probably should be like what's the people who do the not Zen. What's the ones? The yoga. You know how they be like, come, breathe.
Yes, yes.
Like, I
Relax.
feel like I feel like really probably need to take a job telling people that everything's gonna be okay. Woosah, because I'm telling you, when I get stressed out, but I have linked my anxiety to stress, and it seems like
Mhm.
it's definitely situational. So,
Well,
but
the inositol is a brain food, right? Choline is naturally in eggs, right? I don't want
yeah.
you eating a whole lot of eggs, right?
Oh, don't
Yeah.
eat eggs.
No, you can eat eggs, right? That's
Oh,
your
I thought you
diet.
said.
No, no, no.
Oh,
But
because I
that's
eat
where
a
you
lot of
find
eggs.
choline is in eggs.
Oh,
Uh,
I thought you said
yeah,
don't eat a lot
natural
of eggs.
choline, right, is in eggs.
Oh yeah,
But
because I'm gonna see if I eat eggs.
you can get a supplement and take the supplement. One supplement, I take it with I take it with uh, um, blue green algae or well, not blue. Don't take blue green algae at night. You'll be up all night. I take it with chlorella or chlorella or I usually take it with chlorella. Chlorella is a good way to take it because it'll help your body absorb the nutrients fast, right? But you can take it in the evening before you go to bed, and when you wake up, you'll have a
Mhm.
calmness about you,
Yeah,
right?
cause okay, this is
It's a
what I wanted.
relaxation thing.
Yeah, right, so that's the next thing I wanted to say. So sometimes with my worst panic attacks, when I do have them, I keep telling people I be asleep and I wake
Mm,
up
hmm hmm
and heart racing, blind skies, and I'm like, God, like, then I have to calm down. And it's like I ain't had no nightmare. I be telling people I just be knocked out. So
hmm
now I try not to go to bed anymore on a full stomach in the morning or eat anything with a lot of sugar. So I've been trying to
Sugar will kill the inositol.
so too much. I just seen a video about a lady giving a health tip about she cured her anxiety by cutting sugar.
It helps.
Yeah,
It
she
helps.
claimed that they linked hers because I thought, like I said, when I got checked out, my vitamin D was so low. I was
Really?
deficient, yes. So I have to take vitamin D supplements because it
Wow.
was so low. So there was a link with that, So
hmm Yeah. And again, like I said, it can be both, right? It could be mental and it could be physical in a combination of things. But one of the other things that we train or teach to do is to change the scripting in your mind, right? Because remember, you can change your mind.
yeah,
So you can change your
I
mind, right?
yeah I could change my mind,
Right.
but how you stop the intrusive thoughts though. That
Th-
I can't. I don't think no.
that's the ignore it's what we teach is an ignoring meditation as well. There's
Right.
right. So you can ignore, right?
I get that, but
That's the
that's
will. Ain't that the will? The will can say nope, right? I don't have to deal with it, right? I can ignore it, but if I
uh-huh.
give into it, right, it took over. So you see how even in the will aspect of it, when we talk about the will, because if you had free will, you wouldn't have them, would you?
Yeah, that's why I told somebody, you think I don't wish this shit on my worst enemy, bro. Like that shit just be happening. Like, and it's so sad because like my little brother, he be like, girl, I am grown. I be like, yeah, but can you call me when you get home? Can you text me? And if he don't call, I don't thought in a million different ways. This dude is in jail. He don't got pulled over. He got a car accident. He don't fell asleep outside.
Mhm.
And I be like, where did these thoughts come from? Why am I constantly always worried? But it's getting better. Trust me, it's definitely way better than when I
What
tell
it
you
was
it was
before.
bad years ago, but it's definitely better. But it still happens every now and again.
Well,
All
all you
right.
got to do is just continue to do the little things like I showed you. And over time, at a certain age, things just, it'll switch and it'll pan out to where you'll be like, oh, yeah, it may happen every blue moon, but
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to know what to do to deal with it and move through it in a more
Yeah.
effective way. But self-centering meditation, we do script work. When I say script, that intrusive thought is a literal script.
But where do the intrusive thoughts come from?
the
This is
sub the area of your mind that was pre-programmed before you knew it was
thank
programmed.
you. I love. If you was not married, I would say come and marry Neo. That's what I keep telling everybody. That shit is already programmed
Yeah.
in your mind. That's what
Yes,
I keep telling you. You don't make that shit up. It just happens to you because your brain was programmed to do that shit. But
that's
anyway,
right. That's right.
I
Like I said, we talk about a
can't
program.
marry you
How
because
did
I'm
you make? You didn't make the program, right?
exactly.
So some did, right? Something did this, or something had Neo already pegged and made before you even walked into the vehicle. So
You
how
probably
does that
think
work?
I'm already married. I'm not married. I go with Q.
Right? How does that work? Right? It's just
I'm just playing.
it's
Q, I love
random.
you out there, bro. You know I'm just playing with you. I love you out there, bro. So,
So that's what our ancestors were promoting, and we have to learn to bridge the two. I'm not totally in the past because there's some things in the past that we didn't know. There's
mm-hmm,
things that we're learning today that we didn't know. I'm not sitting here like our ancestors had the answers to everything. That's silly. But we did have the answers to some fundamental things about the basis of life and how things work on a core deep
mm-hmm.
level. This is stuff is surface, even though we're still learning. That stuff is ancient, but it's deep, and it's so deep in fact that they're catching up, right? The
All right.
science is catching up to the realities of what those ancient people were trying to promote and teach. Is that look, you have
Yeah,
control over yourself. You are the supreme being in the smallest miniature form.
exactly. So okay, so do you remember one time when me and you was talking and I was preparing for my debate with Q with the omnis perspective, right?
Hmm.
And you remember I told you when I was doing some of our research, studying different religions and different origin stories, and I was talking about a collective consciousness of how ancient people viewed the world and nature or whatever. And do you remember when I told you that I noticed that most major religions and some African ones, depending on which story you hear, that they all say that mankind came from a state of void or darkness.
Yes.
The origin is, do you find that like how do you I know you say our ancestors understood that, but what is it that you think now, being that the technology that we have now, how we can go out of space and even out there, like it's void, it's darkness. I forgot, it's this guy, I think he played Captain Kirk. I don't know his real legal name, but he played Captain Kirk on Star Trek.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? You remember when he finally went out into space? He went out there recently, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And you remember he said it when his interview that when he was out there, it was nothing, just void.
Yeah.
So do
Barely
you
can
think?
see your hand in space. Is so black.
Yeah, he was saying if he looked at the Earth, it kind of like made him feel some type of way because it was like nothing,
Hmm.
voidness.
Yeah.
So do you think like okay,
See,
like how do
from
you
where we sit, we see all the stars. But
right?
when you're in space,
Yeah, that's what he was saying. It was
it's a
darkness.
void. Yeah, you don't see the next star. But it's way. You know what I mean? It's like right here. That's why they have lights and all that because you can't. Think about it like this: when that light from the sun hits the earth, you can see it, but around that is darkness. It's blackness, right?
Hmm. Yeah, because that's why
So
the sun is not illuminating the universe out there. It
that's
only
right because it
yeah.
only illuminates that which reflects back.
Mm, okay.
Anything else, space can't reflect back, so it's black.
Mm. But yeah, so what?
Because you think about it like this, in other words, and I don't mean to cut you, but if you take a picture, when you see the stars behind the Earth, you don't. You see blackness because that real blackness, that's how it is in space. It's not like we think we're gonna be out in space and see all these. No, right? It's dark. It's black. So you're right. Our ancestors, right, did say that darkness, and I would say prefer blackness.
Mhm. But how did
Pers-
they know that they didn't have the technology we have?
They
That's why I
did have
keep
they did have a technology. This is the technology, right? You are the technology.
yeah. But I was trying to tell somebody that's why I connect that divine consciousness when they was
Mhm.
trying to express those stories. I said, how did they know it was voidness, darkness? You
Because
know.
again, those internal states. So when we look at, for example, and I don't want to get too much into the Kemetic sacred science of things, but the Ogdode, right? There's
Mhm.
something called the Ogdode, and the Ogdode talks about Kekui and Kekui and Kuket, which is darkness, right? That's one of the fundamental basis of reality See, there's different schools of thought in Kemet, different sacred sciences. It's not just one, right? It's different ways of looking at the same thing. And so one of those sciences taught that there's fundamental states of matter that precede existence. And one of those fundamental states of matter is what? Darkness,
Mhm.
blackness,
Mhm.
absolute. So when you understand that, and when you again begin to internalize,
Mhm.
not externalize. See, our ancestors were going to find the answers, but not going out to get them, to going in. African mathematics doesn't count outward. We take it and break down the one into a whole, into its composites. That's
Mhm.
African thought. See, you
Mhm.
talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are external things.
Mhm.
But our ancestors would say, well, look at the one and then break the one down into its smaller components.
Mhm.
Instead of going out, you go what? In. The African mind, that's how we think.
Mhm.
So internalizing, naturally, you're going to start to see different layers of what you call reality. I keep saying reality because I don't want to get into other, because it is real. It's just your level of understanding.
And then yeah, yeah,
But
okay, go ahead. I'm
but
sorry.
if you get to that level of understanding where you are completely internal and you're controlling your breath rate is minimal, right? You're at a complete state of rest, then you can begin to see and experience those states that what we would understand as darkness or that original state of reality. But that takes time, patience, dedication, consistency, discipline, so forth, which the world at large is missing. So when we talk about these concepts, again, those concepts, very great thing that he said these are concepts. We talk about these concepts, right, are only accessed by those that have that level of understanding and discipline. Other than that, you're going to try to figure it out, and it's always going to be something external to apply to something that's internal. You're trying to apply something temporary to something that lasts forever.
Mm.
Left brain, right, don't get it.
Mhm.
Our ancestors wrote in a way that bypasses neural connections. Your ancestors were smarter than you can imagine. You
Yeah, I
wrote
don't.
in pictures to
Yeah.
bypass this.
Yeah,
Right?
I think they sleeping on how well our ancestors understood stuff. Like
Yes.
they probably didn't have the imagination at the time to invent a microwave, but I'm sure they had ancient knowledge of how to like building the pyramids. Like
But you
nobody can
can't
even,
build one now.
yeah, like I said, no one can even mimic that. And
Right.
I found it so amazing that scientists and people who study what they call who the people who study the people who study rocks, what they call
Geologists,
yeah, no, the people who study fragments of pieces of history, archaeologists,
archaeologists.
yeah, archaeologists,
Mhm.
that even they are so baffled about how the pyramids are made. They rather put out a theory that aliens did it.
Right.
They won't even give us credit that the
Mm-mm.
human mind
That,
did it with the sources they had then. They're convinced that
no,
it was aliens who made the pyramid.
you
Like you
can't do
seen that?
that.
Like you ever seen the history, the ancient
Oh,
aliens?
that stuff,
And
it
I
gets
remember
me
I just shook
sick
my head
it
and I
makes
said
me
they just
sick. It really does. It gets to my it touches something in me. Because that is the dumbest idea. Why would an alien come help you build something of a construct that's, come on, it just doesn't even make sense. They have advanced technology. What would they do giving it? What would benefit them giving it to you? And then there's no instructions, there's no manual. I mean, and they say there is, but if there was, you rebuild it, right?
yeah, I guess. Or
I don't.
they
People say there's a
or,
manual for it.
or the
Really?
conspiracy theories, they walk among us.
Right. You know what I mean? It's just they get so far fetched with it. They don't want to give Africans their proper due. Right.
I told her, I say, hey,
Right.
I'm Neo, I'm open to anything, but I was just like, I don't know if y'all got to just why y'all just can't give the ancient Africans credit that these people
They
built this,
never can. They
you
never.
know.
There's one video I think I think it's called K2. I think they did right. They gave us our props, but that's a documentary type movie. Thing. You know what I
Mm,
mean? That's kind of like self us doing that. But um, You know, we have to bridge. This is the reality. We have to bridge the two,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have to take what we have now and utilize it to connect what we had then. If we can start to understand the inner workings of the, just let's say the brain, not the mind, the brain.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about those five brainwave states: gamma, beta, alpha, theta, and delta, right? If we
Mm-hmm.
can understand those in a much deeper way, we would definitely be more advanced internally. And and when you become more advanced internally, then community, then social community, social community wise, socially, all kind of different areas begin to open up where you begin to minimize the damage that has been done as far as the um, decadence of Western society. You know, there's a solution for everything, but it usually takes something of a nature that's outside of the context of what is being dealt with to answer the question. And that's why, as Africans and people of African descent, we have to start asking ourselves, you know what? It's not about being an ancient Kemet or mimicking. It's about taking what our ancestors knew and applying it to today to make ourselves successful. That's all I'm about. I'm not trying to be an ancient anything, right? I'm here in modern time. I don't want to be ancient. I don't want to go back, right? Trust me. People say you want. I don't, you can imagine. You know, the average lifespan in Kemet was 40 years old,
All right.
right? So if you're so advanced, why are people living so short? So, you know, I don't romanticize Kemet. I don't want you anyone to think that, but I do want to learn what they knew and
Mm-hmm.
use it to advance ourselves and advance myself as an individual. And if that works, then I'm all that much for the better. But I'm not worshiping or bowing to anything that's 5,000 years old, right?
Right.
We had an understanding, a psychological underpinning behind our knowledge, and I want to take that and weaponize it, right? And be able to do something with it to expedite us in a direction that makes us successful.
Absolutely. You know, I agree with that 100% because, like I
Right.
told people, I don't know much about Kemet, but I will study. And I think you gave me a copy of the Meta Netra.
Hmm.
And when I
Hmm.
get a
And
chance,
stolen legacy, right?
yeah, yeah, when I get a chance, I will check it out.
Yes, read
So
that,
much,
right?
it's so much. But I
Right.
think the next time we do a series, I think I'm gonna have the Stolen Legacy read
Okay. Yeah,
because I
that'll be
actually
good.
did find someone reading it. So when I'm
Hmm.
driving, I'm gonna play it.
Right.
So
Right.
that'll help me out because it's just for time
Yeah.
restraints. So,
You got just live, passing, doing something, dishes, whatever. I'm just listening to it in
no,
the background. I mean, I read the book, but
uh,
it's on audio as well, so
right.
definitely
That's
can
what I
listen
said. That's
to it.
going to probably be the best way I can fit it in. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to wait till one day I'm at work. Probably have to drive a long trip and then play it so over and over so I can get the concept of it. But
Yeah.
so all right. So let's go ahead and move forward with what else this discussion was about. Right.
Hmm.
Destiny.
Yes.
Everybody who watched Neo X knows Neo X believe in purpose and destiny.
Hmm.
And tell me more about how you feel about that because you said yourself you study astrology, right? Am I saying that
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Okay. What is destiny?
Well, it kind of segues from our earlier conversation around free will, right? Because if we choose to do anything we want, why would we choose to come in a life of suffering? Ever wonder why someone would choose? If you have free will, God gave you free will, carte blanche to do anything that you see fit, right? Well, if that's the case, then why would someone choose to be born a paraplegic or born with a missing eye or born with some other defective apparatus or even born mentally unstable? Why would people choose that? Does that make any sense?
Well, they think free will means their ability to make a choice. Like, I'm gonna not rob the bank and rob the bank. I'm telling you, I get into religious people all the time. They think that or choose God or not choose God, love God or don't love. They really think that is free will, and I was like, but you can't explain that you exist at the time that you exist and you don't exist at the time you don't exist. You don't even control when you exist. But
No, you don't control anything. You control very little. Like I said, the will allows you to control what? Your instincts, your appetites, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we say your lower nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ask people, tell me what that is, right? Your lower nature, right? Well, your appetites. Let's just make it real. Your
Mm-hmm.
appetites, your instincts, right? Your proclivities, your tastes, your
That's crazy.
habits. That's your lower nature, right?
That's crazy. I literally said that on this is why I think me and you connected. Somewhere we can there's something going on here. But I literally said that on a guy named Callie's channel when we was talking about your lower self and higher self. And I was telling them like, yo, when you operate on your lower self, it's your appetite, your desires.
Yeah,
It's more to it, and it's just more to it than you think you're doing good or bad decisions.
right.
You know, people who are highly in tune with their higher self and consciousness, like they can go without eating.
At the,
You know,
I was it's some. Well, I was just teaching my students that earlier today. We were talking about the nodes, the lunar nodes in astrology, and
hmm
they have Western society has everything backwards, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
hmm
That survival, physiological survival is first.
hmm
Well, in a normal Western thought process, that makes sense.
Right.
But in an African and Eastern thought process, no, that doesn't make sense because the moment you come into this physical existence, there are elders that are here to name you, to give you your existence, to give you your parameters, to give you your mission. So your name meant something. It wasn't just John, Willie, or right.
hmm
It
Yeah.
meant something. So the name itself had a context to your destiny,
Yes. Yes.
right?
hmm
The name in Kemet, the name is called the Ren. And the Ren is a part or a form of or a level of your spiritual makeup, your spiritual anatomy. I keep saying
hmm
spiritual, right? Because that word spirit, right, is a dangerous word, right?
Yeah.
But you have an anatomy physically and you have an non-physical anatomy. And I don't want to get into too much sacred science. We'll come back to that much in another show. We'll definitely break it down.
hmm
But when you understand that your name, what you answer to, changes a lot about you, doesn't it? Right? What you answer to. If I answer to a certain name, I'm gonna think of, and I want to use this as an example. Nipsey Hussle, right?
hmm
The guy that killed him, you know what his name was?
No.
Shitty Cuz.
Oh, okay. You're talking about his gangster name.
The guy that killed Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, his
Right?
gang name.
His
Yeah.
gang name his gang name
hmm
is Shitty Cuz. Right?
hmm
Now, me personally, I would never be in. Nobody called me nothing like that, right?
Yeah, that
But
name ain't hard enough for
you see
me.
what I'm saying? But the thought process behind Shitty Cuz,
hmm
not to say his Eric, whatever his name is by birth, but
Yeah.
just the repetitious of a thought that I'm shitty, right? I'm
hmm
worthless. Shit is the
Maybe
bottom of the barrel, right?
maybe he pooped on himself when they
I
called
mean,
him.
maybe he had bad breath. I don't know, right?
Yeah, they probably, maybe he was
Right.
one of the ones like he doodled on himself when he was a kid, and they
Right.
started calling
Maybe
him
it was
shit.
in class, right? Who
Yeah, so
knows,
he
right?
was like,
Maybe
man,
his breath smelled like it. I don't know, right?
kids don't
But
shit it on himself.
whatever the case is, that name, right?
hmm
The names that we choose for ourselves, the names that are chosen for us, that has a reverberation, and we don't even know subconsciously is changing how we think, function, and act. So just being called something is going to functionally have you do things. If I call you beautiful lady every day, at some point you might look in the mirror and say, "Hey, that's me." Or if I call you ugly every day, then what you answer to denotes your reality, doesn't it?
Yeah, I get called ugly a lot in the Hebrew Israelite
Right.
community. That shit do
Well,
not fuck with me at
they
all.
definitely need not to be calling nobody ugly because a
Hey,
lot of
well,
them definitely need some help, right?
yeah, I
But
think some of them just have a tiny situation going on.
they just got
It's
some.
not me. They mad at. They mad at they DNA.
That's they lower nature, right? Coming
Yeah,
in
because I'm
playing.
telling you, I be like, why do y'all think calling me ugly hurts my feelings? I don't know. Yeah,
But
but
back to the concept of destiny, an African concept, you were already named when you were born. I mean, the name
mhm,
was constructed out of your destiny.
right.
So you got a name that called to you to give you a reminder that you need to do this or not do this. So destiny, from an African perspective, is the control mechanism of our lives. Without it, things will be haphazard. Could you imagine, right? Tomorrow, someone like says, "I want to wake up," and how do you even wake up and do that? But someone says, "I want to rule the world," right? And then all of a sudden, because they say they want to do it, they can do it. No, there's things that are in place that stops those things. And in his own or her own life, there are parameters that stop it. What are the parameters? Number one, where you're born. We just use an example of the person in Cambodia that wants to come be the president of the United States of America. Well, no, I didn't use that here. I'm sorry, that was in class. Let's say you want to become president of the United States of America and you live in Cambodia.
Yeah, you
You
did bring that up
oh,
here.
that was it. Okay, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Getting
it's
them
here.
crossed over, right? Because I
Mhm.
just got out of class.
No, you
So
good. You said that in the
so
beginning.
just think about that. You can't even change that, and that's just normal, average, everyday stuff. Not to mention the country you're born into. You can't control that. That is not left up to you. That you have no bearings on that. So the country you're born into gives you a lot of different abilities, doesn't it? If you're born in a rural third world country, you have different abilities than you or I that's born in a first world country, right?
Hmm.
So you didn't choose that. That's just the country. Just the country alone gives you a lot of different access, doesn't it? Not let alone, not in the country, the city, the state. You didn't choose any of that, but then but so where is the choice? There's no choice. Things are already preset, predetermined,
I keep.
pre-locked. You didn't choose your body, right? You didn't say, "Hey, I want to have these cheekbones, these eyebrows." You didn't choose that. You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose your siblings. In fact, when you were eating at 3 years old, you didn't even choose what to eat.
Yep.
At 7, you didn't choose what to eat. At 14, you tried to start choosing what you wanted to eat, and your mama said, "Well, if you want to choose, you can get out and get a job." And
And
then
then,
you really begin to learn what choice is because you're like, "Oh, there's consequences to what? My actions." And if there's
mhm,
consequences to my actions, there's no such thing as a free what?
free will.
So destiny and will are locked, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me just real quick take a pause. It's hard to do anything when you're starving and thirsty. I
absolutely. I agree.
I bet. Well, I'm just saying I'm gonna beg the difference because I actually bring this up sometimes when y'all. I told y'all when my marriage was when I everybody knows I used to be married. And when my marriage was failing, I actually like I think I was in the Hebrew Israelite faith and I fasted for 7 days
You
praying and
controlled it,
meditating.
right?
Well, it was tough the first 3 days. But when I had the day 4, I actually was surprised how I was still going. I was like, damn, I thought I'd be more because the
The
first
hunger
3 days,
changes, doesn't it?
yeah, the first 3 days, I was like, man, I'm
It's
gonna die.
hell. Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I was like, but the fourth day, and about time my 7th day when I ended it, I wasn't. I didn't
Hungry.
even want to eat. You
Yeah,
know what
you
I'm
did.
saying?
You didn't want to eat, did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all. Like I kept drinking, but because
Hmm.
I know it's dangerous to go without water.
Right.
But I kept drinking. But on that 7th day, I remember I didn't want to eat, but I knew I needed to eat, so I ate little small things like
And that's
soup,
all you could eat.
crackers. Yeah, because it's dangerous to try to eat. You can really hurt
But no,
yourself.
you can do what you want to do.
Nah.
See,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
body even stop. You go one way, the body says, "Okay, I'm gonna keep you that way." Right?
yeah,
You don't have free carte blanche to do what you want to do.
yeah. Drink some poison. Your body gonna be like, "Oh, really? All right, we out."
Right.
Like,
But I hear what he's saying when it's hard to when you're starving and thirsty.
no,
But think
but
about this, right? If you are able to control your thirst and hunger, isn't that doesn't let's put it this way.
I just wanted
The
to keep.
first the first step to spiritual to in sacred science, the first step is to control your diet, right? Yeah, we don't have a free will, right? Thank you. We didn't
Yeah,
choose to be here, right?
no,
But
no,
no,
because
go ahead.
no, I'm not mean to cut you off. I was just trying to make sure y'all understood what I was trying to say when he was like, "It's hard to do anything." And I was like, "Actually, I was fine after I got through no, that third day." So nah, it wasn't really hard, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. The
but
initial part is though. I mean,
yeah, in the beginning,
if,
yeah, that shit
and if your
sucked.
mind is not conditioned, you know what I mean?
Well, I was trying to save my marriage, so I was trying to try anything.
Oh,
You
right. I
know?
remember, right. I
Yeah,
remember,
I was
right.
trying.
Right.
I had a
You
reason,
had a
like I
motive,
did
right?
not
Definitely.
want, huh? You said
You
what?
had a motive, right?
Yeah, man. I was like, man, what the fuck is happening? I did everything these people told me to do, and this marriage sucks. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But
So, you know what I mean? That just there's some simple things we can just start talking about and how it just throws everything out the window. It doesn't take much to reason correctly when you start thinking properly. But we don't choose this stuff.
I'm
You
not
know,
really sure what he's trying to say here. Do you see his comment? What is he
if
saying?
it's not in English format, you don't know what it is. I don't know what that means
Yeah, I'm not really. He might. I'm not really sure. All right.
either.
I thought maybe I missed something, but I'm not.
I don't think so. No. And when you're born, when you're born, frames your entire mental state. Yeah, it does.
Mm.
Where when you're born forms your
Jay,
mental state. Yeah. Jay, what's up?
Jay,
Right.
Jay, where were you when I was talking to Vortex about that? Where were you? Because me and Vortex disagreed on that. He tried to get me with the Helen Keller thing and to later find out she wasn't born with those conditions. She was
Mhm,
sick and then
mhm,
it developed. And then there's no way to 100% prove that some of those conditions didn't slowly come back to her. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Like I was like, it's not like we could test and make sure this lady was 100% Delta or 100% blind because I talked to a blind person before and he said he could still see. He was blind, but I guess he could still see shadows and light.
right. It
Yeah, like
wasn't just 100. He had
yeah, it
there's
wasn't
levels
like
of it. Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't like darkness. So I know there's different forms of being blind.
Right.
So
Right. You can even be legally blind, right, but not be
mhm,
blind, right?
yeah.
But when we talk about this, it's not hard to configure that you're already pre-programmed. And here's
Mhm.
the thing, right? Let me ask you this. In the brain, what is the means or the part of the brain that allows you to control impulses?
What is it?
The frontal lobe,
Okay. That's why when they say it gets damaged,
a
that's why some of these
lobotomy.
people, oh yeah, and then these people they don't have any more self control. Like a man who probably was peaceful and calm, and it can get damaged, and he turns into this aggressive person. Yeah, I don't heard of that brain injury that these men. What's the name of the fort? What you said the name of it again? The
Lobotomy is
no,
a
not
surgery,
lobotomy.
right?
The brain that the part of your brain that controls your
Frontal lobe,
impulse. Frontal lobe. Yeah.
the prefrontal cortex,
Yeah.
right?
I
So,
did. hmm
do you know what age that turns on?
If I don't hold me to this, but I think it's the age of 20. Is it 27?
Close,
What is it?
25, right?
25. Okay, all right. Yeah, see, I know a little. I kind of
All
know a
right,
little bit. They be
yeah, you
sleeping
got it,
on
right?
Neo.
Right?
I don't be 99% right, but I be close to the accuracy because I knew it
Yeah,
was
you
up.
no, you on it, you on it,
Because
you
no,
very
because I'm
close.
telling you, when I had my what I like to call my mental breakdown when stuff was happening, mine something triggered in me at the age of 27. I
Hmm.
can't really explain it, but the who I used to be before 27 to
Hmm.
27 on now, like I don't even sometimes don't even recognize that person.
It's
The
a different
27,
person because you're
no, because
gain.
I keep telling them my brain worked totally different.
Thank, thank you. Now you see what I'm
So,
saying. So your brain
mm-hmm,
don't even fully turn on until 25.
mm. So I
So
was a
up
little
until
delayed.
25, you don't even have impulse control.
Hey, look, I was a little delayed, huh?
Right? Look,
Because
no, well, I mean, it's a range 25, 26.
I
I
just
mean,
thought about the last time I've been in a fight. No, I think it was 25. No, a real fight, not like a. Now let me start telling my business. Never mind, continue. Because I just, all right, you continue. So 25.
right? So we don't even have control over our impulses until that age.
Hmm.
So for that period of time, where's the free will? Where's the choice of changing what you want to do and what you want to do?
I
Destiny
think,
is already preset. So by the time you're 25, right, the light bulb kind of turns on, but you're already in trajectory, aren't you?
yeah,
You're
yeah, I
already in
think,
motion, right? And you notice that age is when people start to change their career, isn't it?
yeah, and they
I,
become more mature.
yep. See,
Hmm.
because they're learning self knowledge. They're turning on. Things are clicking, turning on. Right. So if that's the case, right, we all can see that things are predestined.
Hmm.
Right. You didn't. No one asked for congenital illnesses such as diabetes or things that are passed on, alcoholism. No one asked. You didn't ask for that. But that's part of the process for you to develop to become a supreme being. Right.
Right.
There's a if I put you wouldn't choose the tests for you because if you wouldn't choose the challenges, excuse me, the moral dilemmas, the um the emotional battles, you wouldn't choose that for yourself.
No,
You would avoid it, and we try to avoid it now. We want to get out of
no.
it. So the thing is that when those come to you, that's destiny. That's for you to either multiply, right? You're gonna stand up or you can swim or drown. But the thing is that that's what life is. It propels you, it grows you, it matures you, it concretizes you, it makes you concentrate, it makes you think before you act, think before you speak. If you're wise, if you have a will that is being developed,
Mm-hmm.
your will can be developed, right? Our ancestors showed the will in an infantile state. When you see, when in the West they call it Mary, Mother Mary, and Jesus, but in ancient Kemet, or in Kemet, they had Aset and Heru.
Mm-hmm.
When you see her holding Heru, that's a symbol. Ain't nobody walking around with no baby named Heru, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a symbol to talk about the infantileness of the will. That's why he's a baby, right? When you're a baby, your will is what? Infantile, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Your will is infantile. You can't make any. You don't know what to do.
Yeah, you have to be nurtured. Nurtured.
Thank you. You have to be fed, taken care of. It. Your
Mm-hmm.
your will is infantile. But when you get 25, the will turns on, right? Because the frontal lobe, the prefrontal cortex, allows you to impulse control, delay gratification,
Mm-hmm.
right? To project, plan, right?
They need to
That's
raise. They need to raise the alcohol thing to 25. Then.
they should. They should. Marijuana too. Marijuana too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Anything
see.
that's mind altering substances, you should be
Should.
25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't want to get because we can be here all night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of truncate it in and kind of really make a statement here that everything in existence obeys laws, including man, right? And if laws are in place, that means that once you break a law, there's a consequence. Well, there's certain things that you have to learn on your own as far as life is concerned on how to navigate, right? Not breaking those laws or upholding them to sustain yourself and making yourself successful. What are the laws? The law of the imagination. That's a law. If
Yes.
you continuously imagine something over and over and over and over and over again, at some point, reality will comply.
Hmm.
I didn't say God, did I? I said reality. Because you are what? The supreme being. So then or let's even use words. Words repetitiously, over and over. I suck. I'm stupid. I'm ugly. I'm worthless. Over and over, it begins to create a groove. That groove creates a behavior. The behavior and the action creates what we call karma, right?
Okay.
And that comes back to you in the form of whatever it is that you did so that you can see the violation of that law.
All right. So we finna have a Neo X moment, right?
Go with your
And
Neo X
not
moment.
and it's not
Come
saying
on
I
with your Neo X moment. Come on, Neo. Come on, we see we can do this here. Come on, let's see we can do this. Come on, right?
Well, I do have a question about that.
Ask away.
If I don't know how much of the how far you actually got into me and Vortex video, but I think you probably seen when we talked about my friend whose child has autism, and he was basically saying, believe, manifest that her daughter can, wind up getting to a sense of normalcy. Now, I wanted to play with Vortex. I got him a little bit just to see how far he would, stick with this theory. There's a guy who said that one of the medical mysteries when it come down to miracles, when people say when people get sick and God and did this or they manifest their healing and stuff, everything that these people claim that they did just from believing and imagination and manifesting, no one seemed to can manifest like an amputee growing their limbs back.
Right.
Like so the amputee, a person who has an amputee, you telling me all they have to do is keep imagining their hand and it's gonna grow back?
No.
That's not what you
No.
said?
No.
Okay. Because that must mean there is a limit to the what can happen in reality.
I
Then.
said you don't have free will.
Free will.
You have a will that
Uh-huh.
allows you to control your responses to not having that apparatus.
Right. So if I keep manifesting, I'm gonna hit this $1 billion lottery. I think about that all the time. I would love for that to happen because the first thing I'm gonna do is investing into black people for us to, some of us to get up out of this foolishness.
Hmm.
But if I keep imagining that, you said eventually it's gonna reality's gonna come. No, that ain't. That's
Because
not what. You
that's one law.
Okay.
There's other laws that what superseded.
I don't because I'm telling y'all the way
There's a
people
law.
talk.
So let's put it to like this. There's a law. So let's do some framework of laws, right? There's a
Mhm,
law of destiny. When I say law of destiny, meaning that there is a law of cause and effect. There's a law
mhm,
of something that has already been placed in existence before you existed. So that
mhm.
supersedes you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know. I just
Right.
want to see if
But
I
I'm
was
saying,
gonna
but
get.
like, listen, that's a good example, right? But what creatures can regenerate themselves? They're
Lizards,
lizards. That's it. Reptiles,
starfish.
right? Things that are not mammals, right? Mammals have a capstone, right? There's telomeres in the ends of your DNA,
Hmm.
right? Those telomeres they're like little balls that are at the end of those telomeres. Once those balls become unraveled, the decay process ensues. Catabolic processes ensue. Catabolism is when the body breaks down, right?
Hmm.
Catabolism, anabolism equals metabolism.
Yeah.
So catabolic processes begin to increase once those telomeres on the ends of your DNA begin to unravel.
Hmm.
Once that happens, you can't, right? You age. Well, think about it. You can't if those telomeres have a capstone, like a limit. You can't go beyond that limit, whether it's age, whether it's regrowing limbs, changing your face, right? There's things that are already preset so that you can't do that.
All right.
And
Y'all
think about
see,
it.
yeah, y'all family, y'all see why I chose him to be my teacher, and he didn't fall for it.
No, we ain't
Like
doing that.
I love how because you're gonna help me get better at this. How we go back to the law. How you
Mhm.
there are laws preset that we cannot change. Like
No,
you said, we could probably bend them, but you
right.
can't break them.
No,
And I love how you use that example. Starfish can grow their limbs back.
right,
Lizards can grow their tails back, but
right.
that's not an ability that mammals are can do. That's not
No,
something designed in their
no. And
DNA.
think about it. If you could, you would live forever.
Yeah,
You could just basically regenerate anything that you had
that
that was right.
yeah,
Because you would
yeah.
know how to do that conscious. You would do it because you're conscious.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, you're conscious. An extension of what? Consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're self-aware. You know you exist. So you
Yeah,
know that. Think about now. Think about now. Without even talking about the regrowing of a limb, think if you had a scratch and you could just heal it in an instant, right?
I mean, I heal pretty fast.
Oh
My
no, I mean, but I'm talking about like, like the movies, like cut.
Oh,
He
like
was
how the vampires be on
yeah, yeah, like
TV.
on X-Men when he cut right and he was healed
Yeah,
up,
and you
right?
just heal up.
Yeah, yeah. No, think
They
about if you
might,
could do that though.
but you know what? Because
Mhm.
science, I think of one day they might be able to, you know how they be altering the DNA and all that stuff? They might be able to have a way people can generate faster to help them heal.
That's a long way.
I don't know. Did they
That's a
clone?
long
They
way.
ain't in conspiracy theories, but
Right.
I believe they cloning some people. I think that's so.
Yeah,
I don't
we'd have
think
to
the
get in it.
science.
Maybe we have a cloning conversation one day because I have my thoughts on that too. Right, right. But no.
Gucci Man is cloned. That's what.
Oh, here we go. Right, that ain't Gucci. That ain't Gucci. Right. The ice cream is different. Right.
That is not the same person.
That's funny. That's
When I
funny.
seen that thick conspiracy theory, I almost fell out the chair.
Like
So,
what?
just real quick, so because I ain't gonna keep you too long, because I'm actually gonna end us at 12.
Okay.
Well, unless people want to come in and ask you some questions.
Mhm.
Um, you see, Relic, question, what he said. We was talking about free
So is
will.
this all coincidence?
Okay, how you want to answer that?
What is coincidence? See these words? These words. These words they got us, right? Co means what? What does co mean? If we cooperate, right? What is that saying? We're operating what? Together, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is a coincidence? What is co? What does co mean? The root.
It's like
Connect.
together. Yeah,
That means connect.
connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooperate, right? Coordinate. Just means, CO is connect. So coincidence is an incident that is what?
Happening at the same time.
Connected.
And I believe happening at the same time because I
Right. So
and
if it's connected, is it a coincidence? The word doesn't even make sense.
mm,
A coincidence. Like it's arbitrary, but it's co. In other words, the words that English language uses doesn't make sense. The reality doesn't reflect the word. But there is no such thing as what we would call arbitrary interaction. That's a better way of saying it. Coincidences are not a real word, but arbitrary interaction, meaning interactions that have no link. There's no such thing, right? Everything that is in existence happens because something caused it. And if something caused it, there's something behind it that means there's a mechanism at work.
absolutely
And so that
100%.
mechanism is just simple. If I beat on somebody, right, and I registered it into my subconscious that it's okay to beat people. It's okay. That I'm not talking about morality. I had nothing about morality, did I?
No,
Right. I said if my thought is it's okay to beat people. It's okay to beat my wife. Let's even be more specific. It's okay to beat my wife. I was programmed because my daddy beat my mama, right? And it's a regular day in the park with me and her. Do you think that the laws of existence are going to allow, even though let's say he never gets caught, nothing, she never says anything, nothing happens? Do you know his behavior and actions are going to do the same thing with another person at some point, aren't they?
mm-hmm.
That person that he does that to at some point, if it's the right person, and it will be, because the universe always gives you something to reflect back to yourself. You eventually meet someone that you can finally put hands on and puts hands back on you, or something worse.
Oh, it might
But
shoot.
might shoot. I was gonna say something worse,
She
right?
might pop
Because a
you.
fear or scared man might not even want to fight. He want to just, hey, I'm gonna get it over with.
Mm-hmm.
But that action, that behavior, creates an envelope, right? That envelope goes with him everywhere he goes, and he attracts and repels certain types of people. He repels the people that are kind, considerate, right, open, decent, and he attracts the belligerent, ignorant, animalistic, right? And out of that pool of people, do you think one of those people may not dish him what he's been dishing out?
Mm.
Right? So karma, you can't escape. You think you do, but you don't. Whether it's
Mm-hmm.
diet, action, thought, all of it has a consequence. So when we talk about coincidence, that woman is experiencing something she needs to experience. The man is experiencing something. And by their interaction, they're working out their spiritual development. That's how life works. That's why when you got married, that was a spiritual assignment. Didn't
Yes.
seem like it, but it
It's,
was.
yeah, it sucked, but no, I was saying I no, I let me get it wrong. I love my ex husband. I was in love with him. It's the way it ended. I'm saying the way it
Right.
ended.
It
So
wasn't the beginning, it was
no, it
it
wasn't good.
usually is, isn't it?
It always started off good.
Start off good, don't it? You meet the representative, right? And then the real one shows up, right?
The first man I ever loved married him.
So
So
do you see what I'm saying here? That there there's no way to escape the reality that this has all been preset, preordained,
mhm.
pre-manifested. And if that is the case, then we have to interject the supreme being.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's
Right.
why I tell people, especially like, especially because I admit it to my audience, with the anxiety thing. Sometimes when I do have those intrusive thoughts and I'm fearing things that I don't even know the outcome and stuff, what I do to help cope with stuff, I remind myself just to live out my purpose, live out my destiny. You know what I'm saying? I exist for a reason, and when it's time to not exist, I won't. So that's kind of like I know. I think was it Vortex again? I don't want to lie on him, but I think he
Mhm.
was saying that it was a he kept what word he kept using. Um when I forgot, he was basically saying that it's depressing to live with that mindset that you have go with the flow type thing. Like instead of you acknowledging that you are the God, so create anything and everything you want. Like he has this mentality, and I'm not shitting on him. And Vortex, if you're watching this, I'm not like shitting. I'm just trying to tell you. I was trying to explain to him how hard it was for me to accept that reality when it's to me. If it was that simple, I think we would see that manifesting more among people. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? Because like when I think of thousands of children who just starved to death in Africa, you get what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm saying, so all we got to do is go over there and tell them kids, hey, believe that you can get food.
Right. Just
You-
imagine a sandwich.
yeah, like, so
Yeah.
like we're guys, tell them the man,
Right.
it's like to
There's
me,
levels above
and,
it, isn't it?
and I'm sure he probably was like, that's not what I mean. But it's like to me, I just did not receive that message at all. Cause I was
No.
like, bro, if we all kind of knew that or we were aware of that consciousness, nobody would suffer. Who would choose
We're
suffering?
on the basement floor of our spiritual makeup.
So,
And on the basement floor you get basement stuff, right? But to do all of those other extra things, to be a supreme being, you have to have a lot of control. You have to have a
mhm.
lot of discipline, a lot of can you control your thoughts? I mean, think about controlling your thoughts. That's hard, right? So, and I mean, we have a key, right? We have a key, right? We have a key to the thoughts, but then that's just to controlling the rate of thoughts. Something has to change the thoughts,
Mhm.
right? And then where does that come in? Why did you change the thought, right? Because you could have went on with the program, no
Yes.
problem.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
something in, and that's what you call the soul, right? That then we
Yes.
get into those concepts, right? Because something
Yes.
in you is saying, "No, I don't want this. I've had enough."
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
We are
but that's not
here.
this, because your
Right.
mind is the thing that you're trying to get rid of, isn't it?
Yes. We
Right?
are here. Boy,
Yeah,
I love you, Raw. We
yeah.
are here. Like that's like he knows he gets me.
So you can't get you trying to get rid of the thing with another thing. It don't work,
Mm,
right? Let's
yeah.
trying to train. I'm gonna stop Coke to drink Sprite, right? No, you need to stop, period. And then change the programming. So you got to take stuff out. What do I say?
Mm-hmm.
Take stuff out. You got to go back to your childhood, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You got to start talking about, okay, I remember the first time mama said, you dumb bitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how I think of myself. I even want my man to call me a bitch, right? Because that's what I heard my mama say. So
Mm-hmm.
at the point at which that thought was implanted, you got to go back to that first thought and retrace the thoughts and do something with the thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's that's sacred science, right?
absolutely.
That's when we talk about spirituality, because there's things that go with it, not just a concept, but actions and and deeds, right? So, and that's why I try to stay away from the word spirituality. Sacred science is a better word or better
Yeah.
way to express it because it denotes science that is not for the profane, right? It's for the sacred, for those that want to delve into things that give them a leg of control and a leg of discipline. And that's just not the world we live in. So that's why our ancestors created mystery schools,
Mm,
initiatory programs, rites of passage, those types of things that begin to bring the mind, the human mind and human body online to bring it to some degree of measured control.
hmm. So you know what? No, I know. We still. Can I get a few more minutes with you? I know because you were kind of late. So
My apologies, y'all. I
yeah,
was
but
a
I don't
little
want to
late.
keep you way too
Mhm.
long. Well, no, wait. You an hour
Yeah,
behind.
yeah, I'm an
Okay,
hour
so
behind.
Bart, do you have to leave right now or?
Yeah, I got to run in a few minutes.
Okay, so just can I get a little bit more, just a little bit
Sure,
more time?
sure.
All right. I do want to. I know you into astrology, right?
Mhm.
And you was telling me that you can sometimes read someone's chart and tell them like what's in store for them in so
Mhm.
many words.
Not
Like,
sometimes,
yeah. Was it
most
some?
times.
Yeah, you did say that because you remember I think I was giving you that Neo X question like,
Mhm,
so what's the
mhm.
accuracy? Is it what I said to you on the phone? Is it 100%
Right. Is it
accurate?
infallible? Right.
You remember I said, so how do you if it ain't 100% accurate? How can it be sacred science? I remember I was
Right.
messing
I
with
got
you.
and I got you.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, you ain't fold, bro. I'm telling you,
Uh,
I can piss a happy meal off. And they
yeah.
cannot, and these are basic, simple questions that I'll be like, why y'all be running? Like, I might not even believe the question I'm asking you. It's just to see
Just answer
you,
it. Yeah.
yeah, or you could just see that, hey, people have different perspectives of this shit, right? But
Right.
and it's sometimes exposed that people have biases when it comes down to their beliefs, right?
Sure.
But but back to my question about the astrology thing.
Mhm.
So is that kind of the reason like why you kind of accept the concept of like predestination, free
It is
will?
why.
Okay. All right. Can you break that down a little bit? And then I'm gonna ask you one more question and you can take off.
Sure.
So
So, when we study the science of the heavens, you begin to understand that there is an organ there that we are like in a simulation, if you will, right?
mhm,
And everything that's around us that's working through us and as us is already kind of set so that there's a order that never ceases, meaning that the sun is the pulse of what we deal with it's the heartbeat of our existence, right? The sun is the heartbeat of our existence. What does that mean? Every day that the sun moves 1 degree, every day, it never changes. You hear me? It
mhm,
never changes. No astronomer, no astrologer, no scientist will ever tell you that the sun does not move 1 degree of arc in the sky per day. That's astronomical knowledge,
mhm,
right? So we take that and we say, well, you know what? That shows the consistency of the universe, doesn't it? Right? Every day there's a degree. No, not less, not more. Other planets don't do that, right? Only the sun moves 1 degree per day. So if the sun moves 1 degree per day, and I can count on that, it's kind of like saying that's the reflection of what we would call the most stable thing in our existence, which is God, right? And that sun is the God that you are within you. So if I look at the sun sign, just an example of sun sign, the sun sign is not what you are; it's who you're to become.
mhm,
Western, I don't do Western astrology for most of you that are out there. I do Eastern astrology. I do sidereal astrology. And in this astrology, the sun is not the one that we look at first because the sun is what you become later. But even in looking at the sun, there's certain things that I can tell. I can tell about your father, right? I can see your father through the sun. So if I see the sun in a certain position in the chart and I say your father, was your father in construction? How the hell did you know that? Now this is destined, right? This is already preset. How do I
Mm-hmm.
don't know this person? How am I supposed to know their dad is in construction? I could have said a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, a trash man, anything. I said a construction worker.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know that? Or the sun, the planet that represents the part of you that is the masculine being that brought forth you into this existence, is literally in Capricorn. And Capricorn deals in matter, physical matter, and it deals in things that are slow and over time. Now, that's not always the case when the sun is in Capricorn. Not everybody's father is in construction, but there's other things that show me that in the chart. So
Mm-hmm.
when I say it, how do I know that? How do I know that? How did I know? Remember, we were talking, I was telling you certain things. I'm like, boom,
Mm-hmm.
boom. And you like, yup, yup, yup. And I'm like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
you kind of hurt my feelings about not probably being a Leo for real, but I'm gonna stick with the
we're
Western.
gonna let we're gonna let you we gonna let you
You
sit
know,
there for a minute
in the
then.
Western, I'm a Leo. I don't care what
Uh,
you
what your
say.
Mercury's in Leo, right? So yes, you are Leo, right? In the
Okay,
sense of your
'cause
thinking, right?
I'm a queen lioness.
We got
So
you, right?
don't take
So
my spiritual animal.
so
So,
when you understand it that way, right?
mhm.
Then once you do that about 2,000 times, what do you think you would start seeing? How would you relate to that? Would you say, I believe this? Or would you say, wow, as soon as I pop the hood, here it is?
Mhm.
You read it like a manual. You read it like, a map. And you say, yep, you're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. Everything I've told you has happened. Yes, it has. How did you know? Because there's something in place that has preset things so that you can reap the benefits of your actions, whether it be positive or negative. Remember, I told you about the guy beating on his wife, right?
Mhm.
Well, then that person gets a chance to experience some of that, doesn't he? Right? You thought
Mhm.
you got away, didn't you? Huh. And then you end up being inside of a being that's experiencing things. And say, remember, have people say, "Why me?" Right? Why
Mhm.
not you?
Mhm.
Why not? Right? What makes you so special that you get to escape certain transactions that have to happen to give you the experience to learn at a soul level, not a mental level.
Mhm.
Right? Soul level, what does that mean? It means it's inherent in your conscience. What is your conscience? The voice that's your guide.
Mhm. The one that let you know I don't like this.
You ever seen a cat or a dog know they did something wrong?
Yeah.
A dog. So a
Yeah.
human that has a high level of threshold of consciousness
Yeah.
has to be able to intuit certain things innately, even though it may be damaged apparatuses or experiences that may warp that. But for the
Mhm.
most part, the internal mechanisms in a being has a automatic kind of knowing right from wrong. It's
Mhm.
innate. That's
Like
why I
my
tell people, whoever wrote the Bible, you tell me, it was something within. Well, it's within all of us. We all know
yes.
it,
Yes.
right?
That omnis perspective that hopefully
Yes.
tomorrow I get to. Y'all see a
Yeah.
first presentation of mine, so I
Yeah.
break that down.
So he wrote the laws, but the laws are written on the heart, aren't they?
The
See?
laws is a concept
Oh, wait, it's a concept,
in
but
the
it's a concept that was already pre-existing.
and it came from an unseen world called
Thank
the
you.
imagination of
Yes, thank you.
his mind.
Right there. That part, right? Right?
Yeah, you know I love you, man.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you dropping some knowledge. I was gonna ask you some more questions about people who did he ask about me? You see this question? I think he asked you why I was about that. Hold on. Can you see his question?
Yes, I don't believe in anything. I do believe in things. What I acknowledge today, I don't believe in. But
That was a good
I
question.
believe in aliens. Let me say that.
I
I
believe
believe
in
in
aliens
little
too.
green men, right?
Uh,
I said I believe, right? I ain't met one. Right? I
So
think they're out there. There's evidence, right? That's a belief.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do someone's destiny, I don't prefer not to say chart. When I unlock their destiny, when I
Mm-hmm.
look into their destiny, right, and I see this person came, we're gonna do a show on it. We're gonna do a show on reincarnation, right? And I'm
Please.
gonna show you in a chart arbitrarily. We're gonna just pick arbitrary people, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna say, see, this is exactly what's manifested, and it's not me, it's not you, it's mathematics speaking to what has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Once you see that, do you really have to believe?
Yeah.
Right?
I believe in reincarnation. And my
Oh, listen,
nephew,
my students,
uh,
when they're done, they don't believe in reincarnation.
really?
They know
Oh,
reincarnation.
oh, okay, okay. I feel you know. I still believe you can thank my little youngest nephew for that. Cause that Negro.
Well, when you sit with me, right,
Yeah.
and you start to really uncover and unravel, right,
Cause
chart after chart after chart,
yeah.
I could show you right now, right, instantly, people that we know, famous people, here it is, written in stone.
Mm,
So I don't need to believe. I don't have the luxury of believing. I would love to believe. It's just
but
not a privilege for
but
me
you know
anymore.
something, huh? That's
Yeah,
what's up.
once you know something, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like, if you ever seen the movie called Constantine?
Mm-hmm. No, wait.
Remember the
I
angel?
never seen it, but I heard of it.
Well, the in the movie, the angel was talking to Constantine,
Mm,
and he said, "Well, I know there's a supreme being," and she said, "I know you do, right?" And that's kind of like cheating, right? Everyone else believes, but because he can see angels and all that kind of stuff. But
right.
it's the same way with me. I don't see angels, but I do see the writing on the wall, the proverbial writing on the wall. I see what's about to happen to you. Do you know how many people I've had to tell? Like last year, one of my good clients, long-term clients, hey man, your mama's gonna pass. Didn't believe it, right? Next year, man, she deteriorated so fast, it's scary. She's
Mm,
about to die. How did you know that? That's what I do.
mm,
So, right, and I'm talking about this is over and 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 over thousands of times. I believe leaves the door, right? So reincarnation is very real, right? It's
mm,
very much. But let me say this so that you understand something, and we'll end it here, and we'll talk about it on a reincarnation show.
mm,
Not everybody reincarnates. Most people are
mm,
reborn. It's not the same.
mm.
Being reborn is you're coming back with the part of you with no real memory, no real understanding about what it is you're supposed to do. Reincarnated people kind of pick up where they leave off.
Mhm,
So there's a two-sided process to it. In our ancestors' terminology, we talked about dying the second death. And in the second death, you lose consciousness or you lose the ability to guide or navigate the next process in your development. Right? You have to go through because you're reborn, you have to repeat, you have to relearn, you have to readjust.
right. But I know you gotta go, but Jay popped in, so he's the one who's been asking you the questions about reincarnation. That's Jay.
Peace. Right.
Uh, can you take a question from him, or do you have to?
I get one question, sure. Yeah.
Hey Jay, thank you for coming in with your chocolate self. I see you, melanin popping. I see you.
One question. Oh man, one question. Well, Shakam said that the universe operates with like predestination, something similar to that. But the wince I was getting, and the question I wanted to ask is, are you hinting at that you know the future?
Yeah. To say it in a nutshell, yes. Now, do I know all the future? No.
Okay, okay, all right. We could go further, but I just wanted to ask you that
But yes,
question.
to answer your question, to boil it down, yes.
So did you know I was gonna ask you that question?
No, no, he's
No,
not a psychic.
I'm not.
No,
Psychic ability is one thing, right?
but if
I'm not
I,
psychic, right?
but I think I hope you
Nah,
catch it.
I'm just pulling his leg a little bit.
Oh, okay. I was say, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
come on, Jay. I know you smarter than that. Because if he was a psychic, hey, that Powerball coming up, hey,
Right.
look at
we
sister.
we need a
Why are most psychics broke is the question, right?
we need a part two though, because I want to hear more from him. I want
Man,
to.
see, don't you? Hey, ain't Jay on me? Jay ain't Shekhem Ra deep.
He is, man. It's
Yeah, I love.
interesting
Hey,
stuff.
I officially I put it on record when people like who your teachers and stuff like that. When people ask me where I'm getting some of my knowledge from, it's
Uh-huh.
Shekhem Ra. He the reason why, especially when I've been questioning people about that birth thing, about them holding their breath and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I got that from Shekhem, but I love it how he keep it simple. You see, it wasn't too complicated, too hard to understand. He didn't. He doesn't make me feel dumb for asking questions. Like he's just so patient, and he's really about the knowledge and the information. So I told him, I
Right.
said, bro, I asked him straight up. I was like, you know what? Do you mind can I be one of your students? So,
For
but
sure, for sure. That's my
yeah,
honor.
but
Shocking. Do you have your own channel?
I do. Have a couple of channels. I have a podcast on what is called Cosmic Convos, and I'll spell it out here. I think she might be able to put it in there for you.
yeah. Go ahead and tell people how they can reach you, your show.
Cosmic Convos is one show I do. We do all kind of different commentary on not modern, but current events from an African and astrological perspective. I also have my own channel. I call it Purusha Astrology. It's on YouTube. I do have a couple of old videos on there. I have some recent ones, but most of my content is on Cosmic Combos. So you can always we're on every Wednesday evening. In fact, we're in between seasons right now. We're in season 5, going into season 6. So I took a break today so I can kind of hang out and be with my girl Neo X and break and build here. But normally, right now, I would be on Cosmic Combos. So Wednesday at 8:30, you can find us on there Eastern. Well, at
Yeah,
9:30 Eastern time. Yeah.
he
Um,
agreed. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's all good. Cosmic Combos, and then my channel is called Purusha Astrology. But yeah, those are the two ways that you would be able to get a hold of me as far as any type of information or anything that I would be teaching from. I also teach classes. I teach astrology. I have 4 levels right now. So we have a astrologer level, master's level, initiate level, and a neophyte level. So if you're
Yeah,
interested in that, let me know. Right, neo.
that's
Right,
that's I meant to tell you. That's what I'm gonna start calling my supporters, the people who come on my show.
neophytes.
I
Yeah.
was gonna start calling them neophytes. I meant to tell you that when you got off the
Right.
phone the other day when you told me that what that means and stuff like that. And I was
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna start calling my supporters that when I start interact with them, doing my giveaways
That's
and stuff.
dope. That's dope.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna
You
start.
got your follower. You got your group name. Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna call them
Yeah.
neophytes from now on.
That's
So,
dope.
Hey,
That's dope.
but
Shechem, I got another question, man. Real quick.
Mhm.
What's your like philosophy how you go about life? If you could kind of sum it up.
Ooh, eyes to the sky and ears to the street. That's
hey,
right. I keep my eyes to the sky and ears to the street because I know they correlate. So I
Mm,
know whatever's going on around me on this level that I experience on a regular mundane perspective. I know there's strings and buttons being pushed from above, right? And I know what those strings and buttons are. I can navigate my reality with some degree of ease, right? Does it stop things? No. But it's just like anything else. If you're prepared for the brunt of the hit, you can brace for it.
mm-hmm.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely we got to do a part 2 because the next time I talk to you, I want to talk to you people who think they can cast spells and do witchcraft and stuff like that.
It don't
Yeah.
work that way.
Yeah, well, I kept telling them if they really think it does, if they really truly believe that they can do these things, do they not understand there's a price to pay?
And guess
Even if
what? Those that can pay the
mhm.
worst price.
That's why I was telling them, like, even when I studied the philosophy behind people who say they can cast spells and interrupt people's wills and make threats that they're gonna put something on you, and I was like, do you know you got to pay for that, right? So I hope
Right.
it's worth it, whatever you're trying to do.
There's certain knowledge I just won't even discuss innately
Right.
in a person's consultation. People will ask me, "Will you tell me the time of death?" I can. but I'm
Yeah,
not gonna do that
don't tell me.
because people get carried away. People like, you really can, that the science is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yes. We can see, number one, we can see your age range and longevity, but we can actually narrow it down to a year if you're effective, and even down to the month if you're supremely effective.
Well, if I live to be 100, you can tell me that, so I can just go ahead and turn up.
Well, I need your time of birth, right? Right. I need your time of birth, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
But if it, I'll just give you a hint. Like if you ever read my chart, if it is the age of 100, just tell me so I can go ahead and turn up. So, because I'll tell you,
right,
I don't like to fly. When I have to get on the airplane, I just be like, did I die in a plane crash or something? Because
right.
I hate flying. That's like a phobia. I will get on it, but I hate flying. But I appreciate you, Shekhem Ra. I know you gotta go. I'm still debating. I'm trying to see, should I let you read my chart online? But then I was like, nah, because we
No,
got
don't do that.
haters. Okay, I'm about to say they got haters. You might be somebody
Do
trying to hurt you.
not do that. No.
But just let me know if I hit that lotto, because I'm telling you, I can't read the stars, but I look up a lot, and I just got a feeling that I'm gonna hit the lotto.
Well, hit it and hit over here because I ain't never objected with no
What
greenback.
we
I don't
gonna
live
hit?
in that reality, right?
Yeah,
Where
but
you so spiritual you don't need no money. No, I don't do that. We don't do
yeah,
that.
trust me, man. If I get that type of money, man, when I say I would make a difference in the community,
Hmm.
investing only in black, that's it, man.
Well, come on,
That's
I'm
it.
with you.
So, but I think the stars are trying to tell me that. But I appreciate you. You know, I don't like to exit people out the show. If
No, I
anything
got
else you want to say in the closing, you can. I'm probably gonna chop it up with Jay a little bit, and then
you.
I'm
Okay.
out of here.
No,
So
I appreciate you having me on. It's been a pleasure. It's always a good conversation with you. It's great that the people can experience our conversation and kind
mhm.
of maybe gather and learn some things that may help them along their journey as far as self knowledge and self awareness. So I'm looking forward to coming back. I love these topics. I love your
Mhm.
channel, the concept, philosophy, and me. Right,
Mhm.
we can get jiggy with it and break bread on large, as far as concepts, as far as broad concepts, large ideas, and we can bring them down to a realistic point of view and see if maybe there's something we can gain from those large concepts that we can use on a regular basis.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I
that's what I'm
appreciate.
all for. I don't like things that are, where you can't use it. It doesn't make sense to me if I can't use it.
Right.
Right. So for
Yeah, I
sure.
definitely appreciate number one your time because I know you're a busy guy, and thank
For
you for
sure.
coming on the show. Thank you for the conversations because, like I said, me and you be on the phone till like 4, 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes when you can talk to me. So
Yes.
but thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for acknowledging that the show's philosophy is not me trying to convert
No.
anybody into anything. And you know their favorite way. You know they try to get in my head. You're not a philosopher. You're not a real
Well, according
philosopher.
to our answer, we are the originators of
Hey,
philosophy.
I
Philosophy.
couldn't wait to do that presentation. I was just
Yeah,
gonna say, yeah,
that's not true.
but they
Right?
think because I don't have a degree in
Did,
philosophy
did
or I
did
don't have a
Plato have a
PhD.
degree?
I said that to someone, the originator of the European understanding of what the
Did
word
Socrates
philosophy
get a
means.
degree? I don't know. Right? But yeah, no, definitely good idea as far as the concept of the show. I'm really digging it. I think we can go, get far and
Yeah,
wide with it. So
I
I'm looking
can't
forward
wait
to
to.
coming back. Yeah,
Yeah, so this is part one of Sacred Science with Shekhem Ra. We talked about free will and destiny. So y'all please check out part two.
for sure.
But I love this series, Sacred Science. That's why I'm gonna keep naming it Sacred Science every time you come on. So
Well, I'll be here for sure.
all right.
All right,
Well,
y'all. I'm gonna
like I
excuse
said,
myself.
yeah,
Peace
I would say,
out. Good
I don't
talking to
X
you, brother
out.
Jay. I hope that we can build, man, in the future and chop it up and definitely, wrap our minds around some more of these concepts.
All right. Peace, bro.
Peace, man.
All right. Jay, hold on, let me because Lions time, baby. I wonder if did Neo X take the red pill or the blue pill, or maybe a little bit of both. Hey, bro, you been having me tripping out for a while, bro. You such a crazy bro. There is no pill. How about that? So there is no pill. The pill doesn't even exist. That's that illusion of choice. But I'm gonna break that down one day. Free will is an illusion, bro. So Neo didn't choose the red or blue pill. It was written that he would choose the red pill. He had no control of that. The architect. How many times the architect said Neo played out that destiny? How many times? So, but all right, Jay. What's up? So you really like the show?
You already know you killing it, Neil.
I'm trying, man.
You
I'm
done
trying.
you done took off since you went on your little vacation from that other place. You've been
Hey,
taking
well,
off.
technically got fired. Technically
It
got.
was good for you though. I think it was good for you because now you locked in. You know.
Yeah, well, I think it's showing me because you remember I told you I kind of had a dream
Yeah, you told me
before
that.
that incident happened. I shared it on my own show that I actually had a dream that I was at the table among what I call the cool kids or people I admire and that I respected, and something went down where they were attacking someone that wasn't at the table, and because
Uh-huh.
I started defending the person who wasn't at the table, they kicked
Yep.
me out. So
Yep.
off the table. And
That's
as I
real.
was and as I was walking away, I turned back and I, stood up for myself and I told them that I don't need to be at your table. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to build my own table. So whatever. But I just found that weird that happened before I dreamed that before the whole drama happened. But I
Mm.
appreciate you the support. I saw your comment, your encouragement. I love how you remind me that the community, they have love for me. I'm just doing what I feel like I'm meant to do, be just being Neo. I'm not here to change anybody's mind, but to give people a safe place to come and think and talk. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it don't always have to be the drama and calling people dumb and blaming them for their levels of intelligence. I just every time I hear it, I just shake my head. Like, so you blaming them because they don't know the information? They're dumb because they don't know. They didn't read the information you read, so they
Yeah.
don't. You know what I'm saying? So why don't you say, "Hey, brother, check out this source"? Like, call them stupid and retarded. I don't get it. But maybe that's they thing. That's they thing over there. But
Yeah.
over here, I definitely want people to feel safe. So
Now you got a cool vibe over here, you know, and you
absolutely.
got interesting topics, interesting guests, you know. Like I like all the guests that you bring on. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I was just watching Willie's channel today. You know,
Oh,
I've
he did
never
it live today.
no, just like his old stuff.
Oh, okay,
So, you
yeah.
know, you bring out interesting people with interesting stories. So, and they
Hmm.
all respectful, you know. So that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Willie Cartwright gave me some words of encouragement too. He really supports the show, and he understands the mission. So I know y'all probably got in the back and forth about the supreme consciousness. But if you read his book,
Uh-huh.
if he does mention in his book that the first time he acknowledged being an atheist, but he kind of put it more that he was saying that I guess if somebody asks him, is there a God? He'll probably just say, I don't believe in the Abrahamic God. That he
Mhm.
always try to make a distinction of what it is, what kind of God
Mhm.
he's talking about. So okay. But any questions you want to ask me? If anybody else want to come in, if not, I'm gonna end this live. Neil X, dope son almost. I know you better recognize. You better recognize. Neil X study. Neil X, you studied the Bible absolutely. That's how I know that a lot of stuff don't add up when they say the math is not mathing. I, I honestly, and I know it's cliche. Y'all might hear people say this, but if you just pay attention to what non-believers say, people who used to believe in the Bible and then they no longer believe in it or take it literally, like what I say. Uh, the one key thing, if you notice, that we all kind of studied the Bible, we read it for ourselves, and I feel like most people who's in the Christian faith, they have not read that Bible. Especially the Old Testament, they have not, and if they have and they still okay with a lot of stuff in it, it makes me question their morals. So he wants me to look up Deuteronomy 9:10. What is that? Let me look this up. What you want me to look up? You a Hebrew? Deuteronomy 9 and 10. What are you trying to tell me with that verse? What are you trying to What are you trying to say? Okay, Deuteronomy 9:10. And the Lord delivered unto me 2 tables of stone written with the finger of God, and on them was written according to all the words which the Lord spake with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Hey y'all, I'm not gonna be looking up Bible verses all day unless y'all tell me the reason why y'all. I see New Era King. Like, what is it that you want me? I don't know, DJ. Do you kind of see what he wanted me to read? Was he going with
I
that?
don't
Did I?
I don't know if he's trying to make the point that God has like a physical body or something like that. God wrote with his finger. I don't know if that's the point that he's making or something like that.
Ain't this when he wrote the 10 Commandments? And the Lord delivered unto me two taps, and according to the according to all the words which the Lord spake. I don't know. I don't get what you're trying to say with that, but hey, I don't know. I don't get it, bro. So, but any other questions, y'all? I'm not gonna be looking up Bible verses unless you telling me why you want me to look it up. So, God wrote with his finger. Oh, okay, I see. All right, so okay. So what's the point you trying to make with that? So the Bible said God also created man out of dirt. Like, I don't get what you're trying to say with that. Finger spelling in sign language. I don't know, Jade, you following? Am I missing something?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Hey, bro, just click the link. We ain't gotta play mystery. I can
Yeah,
I can
just
give you
jump in,
extra
man.
5. Yeah, just jump in. I give you extra 5, 10 minutes. Y'all know me. I'm curious about everything, anything and everything. So I don't know. I've just built this way. I'm just a secret of knowledge, and I'm just not closed minded. I can see all types of perspective. That's why I think that's a gift that I have. So now, I don't mean I have to agree with the perspective, but I can see it. I can actually argue from any point of view. That's actually how good I am. That's why even with the questions, when people be like, when I tried to get Shekhem Ra on the amputee thing, just believing that the hand to grow back. Shekhem Ra was like, that's not in the law.
Hmm.
That is not in the law of a mammal to grow. So that's not reality. Reality is a starfish can do that shit.
Right.
But it ain't written in your DNA code. I tried to get his ass, but I can't never. I'm gonna get him one day, but I couldn't get him on that one. So, and I think Vortex avoided that whole question, if I can remember. All right, but yeah, bro, hit the link, bro. Don't be scared, dog. New Era Kane, you hit the link. You ain't got nothing to say to me today? Oh, there you go. What's up, New Era Kane? What's
What's
up?
up, sis? How you doing, bro?
Like, how you doing?
All is well. All is well.
So,
Nah, I was trying to sum it up for y'all because people get caught up in that Old Testament jargon, and you got to go to the New Testament when things were more philosophical and less barbaric, humanistic to be. You know, I'm not familiar with it. Hold on, let me find
it,
it for
it
y'all.
made it made sense for me. The Hebrews wrote the Old Testament, and then the Greek wrote the New Testament. They were on two different mindsets, so it makes sense to me why the New
I
Testament
mean,
definitely sounds more philosophical. You are, I agree with you on that.
um, yeah. It's in the New Testament, right? It's page 1190. Now,
Hmm.
excuse me, I ain't the best reader in the world, but
Me either. I got a speech impediment, so I have to slow down when I read.
1190. 1179. All right, we almost there, y'all. All right, 119. Oh, that's First Peter. All right, where'd it go? 1190. 1192. Don't tell me that. Oh, there you go. All right. Grace is multiple. Oh, it's 3 or no 5. Oh, I guess I could just read it. I don't know. Let's see. All right. The second. How you supposed to do it? I'm not. Second Peter's first chapter. Simon Peters, a bondservant and apostle of Jesus Christ. Blah 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 blah. Grace and peace to the multitudes, you in the knowledge of God and of Jesus the Lord, as His divine powers have given to us all the things that pertain to life and godliness, through the knowledge of Him who called us by the glory of virtue, by which have been given to us exceedingly great and precious promise. And through these you may be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is the world through lust. But also for this very reason, given all diligence, add to your faith virtue, to your virtue knowledge, to your knowledge self-control, to your self-control perseverance, to your perseverance godliness, to your godliness brotherly kindness, and to your brotherly kindness love. For if these things are yours and abound, you will be neither barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Ain't that gangster? They knew way back then. It's all
Um.
about respect and love and persevering.
Mm-hmm.
See, Bible ain't so bad now, is it?
No, I said it. I don't know how long you was watching it. I said there's some good things you can get out of the Bible, but I hope that sometime one day, if me and you can have a discussion, I remind people. You remember about that omnis perspective? I feel like the main message that even Jesus was trying to portray in the story is that the oneness is what matters. The reason our capabilities of everything that we're doing, everything is about returning back to the source and oneness. But I'm pretty sure I can pull up some because I don't have it off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I can show you some religion where the concept is love. The Bible is not the only place that you find the concept of love and
Right.
how to treat each other. So
And I never argue that with you. It's some things are universal.
yeah,
And
that's what I was saying. Like, but if you look at that, I took out of that, basically how to treat each other, but I also seen where Jesus is trying to have us connect to the one. Like everything we do is because of the power of the one, of the creator. Our
do you,
abilities to do anything.
do you
So
believe a book is a tool, correct?
it could be.
Wait, what do you mean it could be?
It could be. It could also be like it could also be nonsense. It depends on it could be. It depends on how you use it. To me and you, somebody who's like studying or whatever, it's a tool, but to someone who's like not interested, it can be a doorstop. Like
Right, but it's
they have
still,
to find value in it. That's what I mean.
yeah. All right, so we agree that a book is a tool.
It
And
can be.
there are different types of literature, right?
Mhm.
We have, fact, fiction, biographies, um, and all that other stuff, novels. You get what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
we can't forget that it's just a book. You know what I'm saying? It takes more than just a book. And I think if you rest upon just a book, you settling short. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just like I don't get why people feel as though that book entails the entirety of Israel. Like the book was written, I say in the what is it, AD? I mean, in the early first century or whatever the case. Some people think it's more ancient. I wasn't there. I can't tell you, but it's just like some of that stuff doesn't apply to now. And maybe we need something for ourselves now rather than trying to live archaically through the lenses of people who didn't have certain technologies we have now and things of that nature. Am I making sense?
You absolutely. That's why when I disagree with the Israelite family, and I remind them like, hey, if you guys want to hold on to that ancient stuff and believe that you're cursed, whatever, then you can believe in that. I'm not gonna believe that I'm cursed. I'm not gonna believe that the woman is cursed. I'm not gonna believe that because my skin is dark, I come from a tribe that's cursed. You get what I'm saying? So you feel what I'm saying? Like I'm not
Should be
falling.
all cursed.
Yeah, I don't think we curse. I'm not falling for that anymore. You feel what I'm
I
saying?
can't take you nowhere.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm being honest. Like, you know how you was saying that some of the concepts and why do we want to go back? Like, why would we want to embrace a story just that to justify why the white people enslaved us? You get what I'm saying? Why the
Right.
Europeans like giving them a justification, an excuse, so we won't even have to put blame on doing the will of God. You get what I'm saying? So
God,
like,
God is a judge by definition.
or a God, which God though? I don't know.
The- the-
I just find it funny that for people to say God is a judge, and then I could show them in scriptures where that God predestined everything. He's going to judge things based off the way He wrote things to happen.
But how could God be a judge? I don't get it.
because they control the titles. The what you want to call the real God or the universe, it don't have no name. By giving it a name, you limited it. That's why there's different gods. You got God of the water, the God of the land, the God of agriculture. It's limited. By
Right.
having a name, you're limited your property. So the real God, or whatever you want to call it, it can't have no name. By giving it a name is disrespectful. It's just what it is.
You person, what is it? The
So in
personification.
the Bible, when the Bible gave Moses in the what's the story when Moses was talking to the burning bush, and
Right.
that entity told him that tell them I am that I am. What do you think that was demonstrating?
That wasn't inside him. Everything inside of you. That's why it's called okay, remember it's Genesis, then it's Exodus. Exodus means outside of God. So anytime you look outside yourself, you're going outside of God. You're going outside yourself. Everything outside of yourself is artificial. Everything is art. It's not real. So you gotta look inside of yourself. That's the whole trick. That's why
Wait, just back it up a little bit. You said Exodus means outside of God.
yes. X dust. Deuce is God. Zeus.
Hmm.
D
That's
E
good.
U S. Deuce. D
Mm.
is outside of God. Meaning outside of yourself.
I mean, I just yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
the
yeah.
personification. Yeah, he
Mhm.
Zeus. Yeah.
Yeah. Deuce. Zeus is all Zeus. It's God.
Wait, but Exodus is not a Greek word though.
Correct.
I, yeah, I know. It's a I can't even tell you where that word came from. But see, the way we read, we don't read proper. They didn't teach us how to read correctly because let me see if I got something that I could show you. Like if you see anything in all capital letters, right? It's not
Mhm.
English. It's not English at all. It's a sign. It's sign language. If you
You
It's
see,
know,
something. Wait, something is all capital letters, a sign language?
yes, let me prove that to you in a second. I'm trying to look at my computer to see
Yeah,
I got
I'm gonna give
anything.
you some time because
Hold on,
you.
hold on, hold on. This
what
is this
broke?
is rap. This is very important. Hold on, hold up.
Why he gets that New Era King.
I was just
Um,
gonna say. Go ahead.
oh, what you was about to say?
I was just gonna say biology broke me from my spell, but go ahead.
Oh, biology. So, what is your faith? Why he figured that out? What is it that? Because at first I thought you was a Christian.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm an Israelite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because some of the comments you were making before, when I be trying to remember all of y'all, I was like, I thought New Era King was a.
Uh,
So, all right. So, being an Israelite, why he figured that out? So, you believe that we are cursed?
Nope.
Do you believe? So, you believe we were? Our ancestors were?
Nope.
Oh, so how you an Israelite if you don't believe in Deuteronomy 28?
Because that's who I affiliate and associate myself with.
Mm. Do you feel like the woman is cursed?
No.
The Bible says she is. That's why she has labor pain
The
giving
Bible
birth.
is a book.
They gonna kick your
Biology.
ass in that Hebrew Israel. I don't know who you affiliated with, but you finna get beat up, bro. You might not want to show up to your next meeting because
Oh no,
the
I don't do it like that.
oh, okay. Because I don't know who you under. Because you, ooh, well, I tell you, it's the reason why I don't even get about my social media on when I get on certain platforms. Because, baby, them bros, they threatened to rape me, beat me. One
Yeah.
walked up on me. He didn't do nothing to me. He walked up on me and let me know he knew who I was. And I was like, you know what? No more posting.
I
So,
mean, that's just fear. That's fear. You know, when people hold dear to something, you know what I'm saying, and that's all they got, they kind of get zealous with it, and
mhm.
it's just like there's more information out there, bro. Like you could dispel a lot of the inaccuracies.
Yeah. That's why I said, well, you the one who asked me did I read the Bible, the whole Bible? Oh, was you asked me did I study it? That was you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
he
and I
found.
okay, one second, I got you. And just real quick, and while I'm on my own, what I like to call my spiritual journey or my philosophical journey, I'm also catching that. You know how some people you say some people are jealous. That's why they believe. I've learned that some people are only able to comprehend to a certain level. You know how when they say the stars is the limit, there's some people that's where they limit. They can't see beyond stars. You get what I'm saying? So,
Uh-huh.
so I don't have to be. So I'm learning to be patient. That's why I don't call people dumb and stupid or tell them they wrong when they don't get stuff. That ego side of me, I just let it go because I'm convinced that people only can comprehend at a certain level. And some things, spiritual knowledge and esoterical knowledge, and with Shekhem Ra coming on the show today, sacred science, they're not going to be able. You can talk to them till they blue in the face. They're not going to get it because they're not programmed to get it. It's not they calling to understand certain concepts. So.
Yeah, you should check out nucleotides. There are only four nucleotides,
Mhm.
and every single living thing is a combination of those nucleotides.
Mhm. Yeah, we'll talk more, but I don't want to ignore the brother. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Do your thing.
You found what you was looking for?
Yeah. Can you share my screen?
Absolutely. You got to put it up for me to share it though.
Oh, where is I?
I'm a spectate from the chat. Y'all do
They
your thing.
good. Thank you for clicking in. So it's
Hold
always
on.
nice
Let me
talking
see.
to y'all.
Hold on.
Dumbo, what is you talking about, Dumbo? Me and you got to do our show. Me and Dumbo got to do a show on hip hop. Cause Dumbo and my brother, they delusional. They think Fabulous is a legend rapper. Legendary Fabulous.
Where
I
the
don't know what's wrong with these people.
fuck is that?
So Domo, we got to do our show on our hip hop legends, our top five, and all that, bro. We got to do that. We got to talk hip hop. The blasphemy of you and my brother.
Man. I'm having too many technical difficulties right now. I
No,
wasn't
you
planning
good.
for
I
it.
mean, I'm gonna rock with you for a little bit because
Hold
you
on.
said
Let me.
something, and I'm interested because I never heard nobody say capital letters or sign language.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Can you see my screen?
No, you're not sharing anything.
I press present. Hold on. Let me
So
check
hit
this out.
present. Let me help you out because they did change it. Hit present and then hit uh it says you see where it's four option. That last option where it says share screen, you gotta hit that. Oh, you out. Dumbo, click the link real quick. You got some free time? Click the link, Dumbo. You got some free time, brother. Let me just tease you real quick, man. If you got some time, Dumbo, click the link. So let me give you a hard time about this fabulous to give people a taste of what me and you gonna be discussing on our next show together. I'm gonna hang around a little bit while he tries to. Are you on your phone or on a laptop or what?
Right now, I switched to my computer, so I'm trying to uh share.
Do you go by T Duck?
That's up there. That's one of my accounts. I don't,
Oh, okay. Because Domo said, "Why you let T Duck up there?" I thought he was talking about New Edge King, New Era King, but I was like, no, I think he talking about this guy. Oh, what you
uh,
don't did to Domo? He's shaking his head. You being on the show. What you don't did to Domo?
yeah, you still can't see it.
Nah, brother, there's nothing sharing. But only time I'm telling you that you can hit share and you see where it says slides, extra camera, video file. It should be a button that it says share screen. You click that, and then it's gonna a notification is gonna pop up that says screen sharing tips. You want to hit share screen. It's like a blue button that should pop up. Is it a website or something I can pull up? Or oh, there you go. See, you got it.
All right, it's from my email. That's the only way I could present it to you.
Okay.
Do you see the book?
Yep.
Okay, let me zoom in. Damn, how you? Okay, let me zoom in. Hold up. Okay, this is. Hold on, let me show you what book it is. This is the. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, this is the Chicago Manual Style. This book is used by the bar examination. People who taking a British accreditation exam, they study out this book. So, uh, okay, this right here. Can you see that way? It say American Sign Language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sign language, the visual gesture language used by deaf people. You gotta remember that.
Okay.
N- Now, what I want to get down to is the glosses. Glosses in ASL. The written language transcription of a sign is called a gloss. Glosses are words from the spoken language. Spoken language is English, written in small capital letters. Woman, school, cat. Alternatively, regular capital letters may be used. When two or more written words are used to gloss a single sign, the glosses are separated by hyphens. The translation is enclosed in double quotation marks. Okay, you see how I say a car drove by, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how I be in English. Now, written in gloss mean vehicle drove by. You see the difference? How they got the hyphen?
To the
Um,
sign. Okay. The sign for a car drove by is written as vehicle drive by.
yeah, you see it. The,
Yeah.
the reason why this is important because if you look at ancient Greek, you know they use all capital letters, and sometimes you might see the middle, the interpunct or the middle dot. If it doesn't have a middle dot, it means nothing. If it does, that means that sign do mean something. And that's how they confuse the public, the common people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is right here. Hold on, let me see what other page at. All right, right here. I hope you can see it. Okay, it said one obvious limitation of use of glosses from the spoken written language to represent signs is that there is no one-to-one correspondence between the words or signs in any two languages. Now, what I'm saying to you is international law. So if you see, when you see the White House, you saying it in English. What does it say in that language that's written in? It says nothing. It's called fingerspelling.
Okay. So fingers back for the proper nouns or other words borrowed from spoken language. Signers, finger spells using a hand shape from a menu alphabet. There is no new. Apple use different sign language among the American. Transcribe. Go down some more. Email the following ways. So you see where it says John or
Yes.
John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now this the problem. Okay, you see how I say FF. FS means Frank spelling hyphen John, right? You see
Mm-hmm.
how they got hyphens because that means something. Now take a word like Nike, Nike, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't speak that word by law. It's sign language. Sign language don't. You can't write or speak sign language. Look, if you see a deaf person, they doing signs and you translating it. So when you write it down, you translating it because they're not speaking to you.
So you basically saying when a word is in all caps, it has no sound.
It doesn't. It's sign language. It's not English.
So how do we know what it says?
You don't. It says nothing. If it's not for, if you look at a let me say, hold up. Like I love you. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Then I got no. This is English. I love you. Now, when you look at them, you see how the "I love you" is in capital letters, right? You see that? That's not English. That don't mean "I love you." This means something totally different because it's not formatted in English. This right here is two different languages. Just like with the numbers, 0 through 9, that's Arabic. That's not English. It, so we live in the system of Babel. Uh, does that make sense? Ask me any question you want, so I can give you the answer. I know you
No,
got a
I
lot of
mean
questions.
I'm trying to follow you with that because I'm probably a little rusty on the English language.
No, no,
Um,
they never taught you it. They never
what
taught you. Check this
what?
out. Check this. Okay, all right. Say if you see the Jersey Nets or whatever, right? And they have their name and capital letters going straight down. So you reading up to down. English, you ain't gonna read it left to right. If you reading it in any type of way, it's no longer English. If anything formatted wrong in the English in the English sentence, it's not English no more. It's just a sign.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of go. I'm trying to get where you're going here because I know the English letters.
Right,
Um,
right. And Spanish use the letters. You
yeah, I
know,
just would say I know they can write the same
French,
words in.
exactly. So
Yeah, so I get what you're saying. Like, what makes a language English is the letters put together to spell words that identify as English.
that's right. So it gotta be formatted correctly.
So I know the letters are not necessarily. Um,
No, 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 no. It's just a writing script. It's just a writing script. The letters
yeah,
alone is just a writing script. But the way they format it, you can do different languages in it. It's like for instance, oh,
because all right, so you see, I'm looking at over here on the right side of the screen. You see where it says ACL? Like I know ACL is not a word, right?
hold up.
You could because they use in capital letters to for the abbreviation.
Right, but it's not formatted correctly. Oh, let me bring up something else. Let me bring up something else. Hold up. What is it called? GEEZ. What is this, Bible? Hold on. Let me bring up something else. I'm on Google right now. Hold on. Let me bring this up. All right. Do you see that? The Bible translations into the GZs?
Hold on, somebody. All right, hold on. I gotta put the screen back up.
All right.
All right, all right, go ahead.
All right. Do you see the screen I got up? The Bible translations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now look, check this out. This is how you could read internationally properly, not like the common people. Bible translation to the GZs, that's how I pronounce it. In the ancient South Semitic English, Ethiopia break date back to the 6th century at least, making it one of the world's oldest translations. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me click on this image. Now, you see it? Don't you see the
Mm-hmm.
colon? It's sign language. This is properly formatted.
Okay.
If it's not properly formatted, it means nothing by law.
By whose law?
International law, because these are the rules to the English, to the language,
To the English language or all languages?
all
'Cause,
languages.
so
But
I don't.
I'm just showing you
So
how far it date
I
back.
got a question. I'm telling you. So in like Mandarin, they have those uh what you call them dots.
Right, hold on, let me see. What is it? Mandarin language um paragraph. Let me show you. Hold on, I'm trying to bring up a image of this. See, hold on, I'm trying to
Because I
look.
don't speak Mandarin, so I don't know if this is correct or not. But I
Yeah,
know,
right.
see, they have a whole different writing system. They don't use the block letters like we do.
Yeah, they use the colons. You see it like right here. There's a colon. It's a
Okay.
colon. These are the ones that I identify. You know, like for instance, let me look at something. What was that? What was that? Damn, what's that language? I think it's called Arcadian. What is it? Hold up. I'm trying to give you some examples to how far this actually date back. That's the only thing that matters. Because then you see what I'm saying. All right, you see the screen right here?
Okay, what language is that?
Okay, this about King Nebuchadnezzar, however you pronounce his name, right? This is go back to the Akkadian Babylon. This is the language of Babylon. Uh, did you see it?
Yeah, you said
Oh,
this is Babylon.
yes.
Okay.
It's the same rule since the beginning of time. Nothing haven't changed. Okay, now you see this first line, how they got these arrows, right?
Okay.
All right, underneath it, you see it, how they got the hyphen because they
And that has nothing to do with the word breaking down the syllable.
because it's a translation. It's a proper way how you write down translations. You can't just write anything down. That's only for the common people. They never taught the common people how to read and write properly. They, t-
Who?
they
So who is they? Who never taught who?
just gonna say the gods, the
Oh,
powers, the politicians, whoever ruling this country, the Pope, whoever.
all right. So you saying the the rulers in high places didn't teach
Yes.
how to properly read
No, they
or
haven't.
translate languages based
That,
off of rules they
that,
set?
that's exactly what I'm saying. Even all right, right here, you see the first line got arrows. Then the second line, just the translation. But don't you see the hyphen?
Yeah, I see the hyphens, but to
Yeah.
me, but so that's not like
This this is
so.
properly translated. This is properly translated. What I'm saying is this mean what it says because they properly translated it. It's properly. You ever seen that movie called Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington?
I don't remember
All
if
right.
I
Well,
did.
anyway, like they had to make sure four people had to make sure that the message was properly formatted. That's all they said throughout the movie.
Mhm. Yeah, so okay, so I'm trying to understand you a little bit, but I know how what's called hieroglyphic, the
Yeah, yeah,
ancient.
yeah, yeah.
So they follow the same format with the hyphens and stuff.
Right, but it's a translation though. Remember, look, this right to the hyphen is just translating this. Just like this. You see, they got the punctuation. This is properly formatted. It's the whole sheet. The way we write and do stuff now is not English at all. It's not even formatted in English. It's all called sign language. I'm trying to give you a better example.
Yeah, because I'm trying to follow you. I am. I'm not even
Oh,
finished.
okay. Just ask me a question about the all caps. You see this glosses, right? Capital
Mhm.
letters. Just so think about something in all caps. Anything, even your name.
I just found out my name.
That's
So
right. That's right. Okay, what it says, or what language you speaking in? You speaking in English, right?
hmm
Now, it's not written in English. So meaning,
okay.
you understand what I'm saying?
I
I,
mean,
I, I, I
I
know
don't
it's hard.
know because like I don't know like
It,
it's
it,
not
it,
hard. It's not really hard. I'm just trying to see how because I know like when we because I know the English language change or whatever, and
no,
I know
no,
I
it
know
can't change. It can't change.
I'm talking about
That's
the rules. I mean,
no,
there
no
are rules in the English language.
right. It's something like it's something like chess. Like chess, a king can't take a king. So if I take your king, well, we ain't playing chess no more.
Yeah, but the English language have rules. We both know that.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. English language
It's
had
like in the English language, to write a proper sentence, you started with a capital letter.
th-
The first letter
thank
is
you.
capital, right?
Okay, so once you make the second letter capital, it becomes sign language. If you do that,
Right.
you
But
you, you understand what I'm saying?
see, I think I'm trying to connect. What's the purpose of what you're trying to articulate with me with saying everything in capital is not English,
Thi-
it's a sign
oh,
language.
check this out. Check this out. It's simple. Even when you look at canned goods, you see ingredients, right? Now, is it written in English or is it written in American Sign Language? From what I showed you, it's written in sign language, meaning it does not in it what's what you think was in it. It's two different. It don't work like that. It's
All
all
right, so
deception.
let's slow down real quick. Let's just slow down. So in the American Sign Language, the key word is American. sign language. It doesn't say universal sign language. You just said it's called American Sign Language.
Yeah, right. Okay, now Google if sign language could be spoken or written down. It can't.
Mhm.
It's
So you
rules to it.
so the sign language have rules, and who made the rules?
They did. That's why it's called American Sign Language.
So American made the rules.
Right.
So it's
If
not universal.
no, because it's British Sign Language. It's Australia Sign Language. It's just like McDonald's. When you look at the McDonald's sign, it's not in English. It's just a sign.
I mean, that's a symbol. I mean,
Right.
but the word McDonald's is on the sign.
Okay, but okay, what language is it written in? That what's matter. That's the only thing that matters. What
Well,
language is it written in?
in English, I would say I would go with English.
Okay, let me see. Hold on, let me see. Arabic language. Let me show you what I mean.
Do Greek? I don't speak Greek, but I have a question while you look that up. I
Okay,
don't know how to write, read, or write in Greek.
right.
Did they have lowercase and capital letters in Greek?
They got something called bio caramel. Either you can write in all caps or you can write in all lowercase.
Oh, so
But
they do have lowercase and uppercase letters.
yeah, but you
Okay.
can't mix it. Like it's some strict rules to this language. So
Yeah,
every
but this what so I hope you catch what I'm trying to say is it seems like every language have its own rules.
yes, every language, including sign language.
But then how is sign language a universal language? Like who was the authority to sign language being?
It go back in history. I got some videos. The
Cause that's why I'm confused because you keep
right,
saying like they, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to follow him with the sign language thing in capital letters. But just like the person who came up with the language, and we even made changes to this day.
right,
Like, when I'm gonna give you an example, when I was a kid, used to underline anytime you was writing a sentence, if you naming the title of a film or a book, you used to underline it. And now
right,
I think they changed it to you could put quotation marks.
right.
Or you can put the book in all capital if I'm not sure. But
It- it-
anyway, but that's what I'm saying. So we know the language has changed. That's I said, who's the authority of the rules
the
of
the
different languages?
the British accreditation, angling, because this is the bar saying this. The bar making the rules of the law. People still have to pass the bar exam to become an attorney. They made the rules. Like this is their book.
Okay, so again, you found what you was looking for. I'm gonna ask you one more question, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Let you wrap it up with exactly what you're trying to tell
Nah,
me.
nah, nah, nah. Just ask me the question because it's going to take me a minute.
Okay, so what is it? What is it that you trying to articulate me? What's the main thing you want me to walk away with
The
after
main
showing you this?
the main thing since the day you went to school, you said everything in capital letters, and they told you, let's just say the school said when you're penning all capital letters. It doesn't say that. The language that's written down, you can't even speak it.
Hey, you went low again. Break, go back a little bit. You started to get a little muffled. You
Oh,
said
sorry
when I
about
went to
that.
school, what happened now?
All right, you know when you come to the corner, you see the stop sign, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the stop sign. Now, when you look at the fonts of the stop sign, it's not written in English. It's written in American Sign Language. It doesn't mean the same thing. It's a sign.
So when I see the word "stop" in all capital letters, it doesn't mean the same thing if it was in lowercase letters.
No, 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 it doesn't mean the same thing if it was formatted in English.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you one more time. So when I see it in all capitals,
Right.
stop. And if I see the same word in lowercase letters, they're not the same thing.
It depends how it's formatted. Like, for instance, like if I say I stopped by the store on the way to school in an English sentence, right? Then if I say I stopped by the store on my way to school in all capitalized letters, it means two different things.
But
It,
what could it? What else could it mean if it's not the word
only,
stop?
only, only I and you would know that, or whoever knows know the language.
No, the sign language.
Right. Yeah. Only me and you would know that. It's a sign. That's it's not English. There's no English in this lane. Like for instance, like I always use, if you look at your monies, people say that says the United States of America in all caps. It doesn't say that. It's called finger spelling.
So that's why you brought up the Bible verse when you wanted me to read the Bible verse saying that God wrote the Ten Commandments with his fingers.
Right, because it's the whole Bible is written in sign language. It's not even it's written in English black letter. That's a Gothic type of lettering. It's an artistic expression. That's why it's written like that. I know all this may seem complicated, but just
Yeah, a bit, but I'm not going to tell you because, I know you are trying to articulate something to me that you fully understand. And
and it,
I don't have the certain knowledge of pre-notions of things you know. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that, you don't make sense, you're wrong. I'm just
right.
trying to see what is it that you was trying to get me to pay attention to. Or something you're trying to articulate, like what's important, like what is it that you're trying to get me to see. So,
Like
but
for,
I'm not gonna tell you. I learned that a long time ago. Stop telling people they're wrong, just because
right.
they don't have the knowledge that they have.
It's like for instance, the 0 through 9. When you see them symbols, it's Arabic. It's not English.
Okay, I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, but we we can let that go.
Now, listen. Okay, one. Okay. For instance, one. Okay. You see the numeral that we put down, straight line or
Let me
whatever.
zoom back in.
Okay. Now, one in English should be ONE.
Wait, what? Say that again. I
Take,
couldn't
take,
see slow.
yeah, sorry about that. Take the number 2, right? Okay, 2 in English would be what? TWO or
Mhm.
TOO.
But those are not the same thing. One is a number.
I know, but I'm talking about the number TWO. But I'm just expressing it to you because the language is more confusing than you could ever imagine. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, they did. I ain't gonna lie. The English language sometimes don't make sense. So, all right, so what you said one should be spelled like what now?
I can't. It's hard. Like it's something that you would have to like take time in it for yourself so you could fully understand it.
Because another reason why I chose my name Neo X because if you rearrange the letters, it spells one.
Right.
And part of my I don't know how long you've been watching me, brother, but part of my philosophy is that I like to talk about religion from a omnis perspective, and
Right.
I believe everything is one and connected in one concept. So that's kind of like another reason why I chose the word Neo X because it spells one. So that's why when you said one should be spelled, I was curious to see in the English language how one should be spelled. So you telling me my name right here, Neo X, that's a sign?
Yeah, that's a sign.
So what am I trying to tell the people that can have my name in all capital letters?
Okay, listen. The all it's Let me hold on. Do I got a video on my channel? Let me see. It's
Yeah,
kind of hard to explain this because people it's so shocking.
yeah.
It's
I mean, I think you passionate about something, and I think you gotta, because I'm telling you, I
it's
feel you. Because when I try to explain that omnis shit to people by saying all religions are true, but not if you take it literally, they still don't get it. So I've been trying to find better ways to break it down, and I think I found that's why I might get a chance to do a presentation tomorrow. So
right, right. It's but the most you could take out of this is to say what I'm saying is credit or not. Just remember this book, The Chicago Manual of Style.
mhm.
That's the only thing I can recommend because it's pretty difficult because we've been lied to since the beginning. And once you understand the language, you understand everything else. But people need to
But
study English.
this the only thing. I just this the little pushback because
All right, give me
it's just
pushback.
it's just a little bit. It's just a little bit. It ain't too much. Because I've been exposed to so much shit, and not you. And I'm
Yeah,
not saying this is shit for his religion and my conspiracy friends and stuff. I kind of feel like I keep meeting a lot of black men who think a lot of shit is a conspiracy. And when
right,
they say they and them and stuff, I don't do that to be like
right, right,
sarcastic. I be trying to understand who is they. and who is them? Like, if this whole conspiracy to keep us dumb and
No,
uneducated and stuff, like who is doing this? Like who is they?
okay,
So I
okay. Are you still looking at my screen?
yeah, I can hold on. Let me make it bigger so I can see it.
Oh, okay. You say it's a Black American Sign Language.
Oh, they got a black.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Like, it's like I'm the only one that know this. Yeah, black. So, and they got White American Sign Language. But I want to show you something.
Oh Lord, you sound all over to know this. Now you picked this up from somebody. Somebody done showed you a YouTube video. Something happened,
Nah, man, I do a lot of reading, and trust me.
and that's good, brother. Keep reading. We are 400 years behind on information. You keep on reading.
But the thing is, we don't know the rules or nothing. That's why we never study English, because we think we know English, but we know nothing. Even math is done wrong.
Math is done wrong.
Yeah, but that's
I'm studying
yeah,
numerology.
math is done wrong.
I'm studying numerology now. That I gotta see because I'm studying numerology now.
Math is done. Math was be written out like a sentence.
Math is supposed to be rewritten out like a sentence. Okay.
Yes, you write it all down. I can't. It's just history. You know what I
All
mean?
right, so I
Nothing
got a
ever changed.
question. What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow, what I'm doing tomorrow? Oh, going to go see the Halloween movie.
Okay. What time that's going to be?
I don't know. What you got in mind?
I was going to bring you back.
Yeah. Shit. Damn.
But if you can't make any time tomorrow, then I just have to schedule next week because this weekend I got a mini vacation. After all the drama that don't happen, I've been mentally affected, and I just need a break from social media. So
Right.
so I'm not gonna be doing videos after Thursday. I'm gonna take a break for the next few days, possibly. I'm still waiting for somebody to reach out to me about a show that I might be doing Friday. I want to touch on a story about a guy named Robert Byrd, the Philly cop officer who killed himself. And I was gonna go through his suicide letter and share it with the family.
Oh.
That might be done Friday, depending on if somebody respond back to me or not. So
But this last thing right here, black signs are typically more like the standard signs taught in schools and textbooks. Black sign is also associated with rhythm and expression. You, everything you was reading throughout your whole life was sign language. It never was English. That's what I'm saying. And I could prove that easily through the English language, through the rules. This,
I mean,
I know it sounds crazy, but just remember this book and try to. You're a good researcher. Discredit this book right here. Discredit it.
okay, I'll definitely take a look at it because every time I keep thinking, every time you say sign,
Signs, symbols.
I just want to say I keep thinking of the word symbol, like you know,
Yeah,
so
right.
every time you
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
saying that,
symbols. Right.
yeah. So that's why I say I'm trying to connect with you. I'm trying to get there, but every time I think of sign, I think of symbols. But
Yeah,
then people
they're the
also
same thing.
hold on, but then I get a little, because some people say, "What is your sign, Leo?" Or somebody be like, "Oh, look for the signs in the stars, the sky. Look for a sign." Or people pray like, "God, give me a sign that it
Right.
do this and that." So that's why I said we know sign has different concept. But every time the way you keep trying to, express it here and how I'm receiving it, not saying this how you saying it, I keep going back to the symbolism.
Right. Yeah, it's all symbolism. Everything, just like the hieroglyphs. The hieroglyphs was for the illiterate. The hieratic was for the literate. So they teaching people who teach hieroglyphs. They teaching you to be illiterate. Just simple question. Anybody that speak Africa, right? Say X is the hieroglyphs is for the illiterate. The hieratic is the writing. That's for the literate. So if it's illiterate, why people making money off selling illiterate teachings to make you illiterate?
So can I ask you a question just real quick, not trying to be funny? Are you not a Hebrew Israelite or a Christian or anything like that?
Nah, I don't claim none of that. I don't
Okay.
claim
No,
nothing.
I just want to say, 'cause if you would have hit me with that, you're a Hebrew Israelite. So I'm like, how you know this ain't happened during the
Be,
Tower of Babel?
listen, because whoever who control the language control the world. They change time. They change time because they keep changing the words to everything. But when you go back to if you look at the etymology of the word, it go back to like the origin. So when you go back to the origin, then you can figure things out. So
So I got a question. Okay, now I'm finna just play with you a little bit. So
okay,
the Mandela effect, all that conspiracy that people talk on YouTube,
what,
where
what,
they
what,
keep saying that they remember words spelled another way, but now it seems like the word is spelled different. Is there any connection with that? Like the Berenstein Bears, you remember they were saying it was spelled?
yes, it is. Yes, it is. But
Okay.
but what I'm saying is, you really would have to understand English, then you could understand everything else.
Or when they keep
This once you know English, I mean common English, not what they teach you, because I can't find really no other books. Other books speak about it, but they don't want to show you the symbols. Like this is the only book that I found that
wow, so what's the conspiracy? So what why don't they want us to know the proper way to read English again?
it's just like, okay, you live in the state. The state is the father. They treat us like children. Everybody when you say, okay, how can I put? It's kind of difficult to explain everything because it's how the whole system's set up. It's not set up, and nothing don't work how you think it work. Um,
Yeah, man,
you know,
you talk to the right person in this because you trying to explain all this, and in my mind, I'm like, he could be an agent plugged into the matrix. I'm trying to
oh,
confuse.
oh yeah, we living in it. The
So
worst
that's
thing.
what I'm saying. When people keep, that's why I said the philosophy about us all being the computer simulator. I keep telling people it's not too far fetched.
No, it's real. They don't know the language. It's like before I brought this the information I'm presenting to you, right? I presented. I try to get other people that you see on the HOK. Nobody didn't want to touch it. Nobody didn't want to get into it. So I'm like, damn, like they really don't want to, help the
Now,
people out. Simple as
um,
that.
what Sonetta wouldn't let you play it?
Nobody. Garfield said no, he couldn't read it. I'm showing you the same thing that I showed Garfield and everybody else. Nobody else.
What did Garfield say?
He said he couldn't read it.
Hmm.
But I'm presenting you the same thing though. That's why I want to show you to you, and I'm show you the book because this book is used by the bar. So
Yeah,
we go
I
and
get that, but I think you're gonna have to the next time we discuss this, you're gonna have to help me understand what do you mean by universal law, like who set the standard? Because we don't even have a universal language. I mean, besides like our emotion.
sign
It's,
language. Okay, you know how they said back in the day it was oral tradition.
yeah, do you
Oral,
believe that?
yeah. Let me explain. No. What happened? No, let me explain like this. It was oral tradition. They speaking. They was writing down signs. But the reason why they call it oral tradition because it wasn't written. The oral tradition was sign language. If you ever see like an old video with like Indians looking at the moon and stuff and doing things with his hands, it's all sign language.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, like you know how when a cop said he reached in his belt like he's going for a gun and he got shot because it's sign language. We don't know sign language or the way that they present it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring you back, bro, so we can just talk more on about this. Cause
It's deep. It's deep, Neo. Let me. Uh,
so look, I'm finna. You see my back chat? I'm finna put my email. Just email me tonight, and we'll set a time next week.
all
So,
right.
because if
My
you can't make it tomorrow, then I definitely have to set a time for you next week.
okay. Cool. Let me.
Because I ain't gonna shun you off just because I'm not, you know, connecting the dots. Because
it's
I'm telling you, and I'm gonna be real with you. I'm telling you, the first time I don't know if you watched Shekhem Ra in the beginning of this video. I
right.
was on the first time I met him. I was on Sanetta's wife channel. I
Right.
was on her channel, and we was talking about consciousness. And
Right.
I just felt like, consciousness is just a function of the mind, the brain, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just feel like, hey, if you unconscious, you can't perceive anything. You go to a state of void. And I still kind of feel that way. Um, but he, after talking to Shekhem Ra, he actually made me go study metaphysics and all that stuff to see where people get these concepts and what is consciousness, what is the ability to observe your life experiences. And I'm telling you, it's deep. They're definitely deep. That's why I said the concept of being a computer simulated or people putting images in front of our minds and we catch certain stuff, or if you keep seeing the number 333 and 222. Do you ever experience that when you see numbers in sequence? Are you going through that?
I see everything.
Cause yeah, cause like remember I told you, because you remember I said Neo, I can see different perspective, but I was curious if you see those type of numbers being that you believe everything is like a sign if it's in capital letters,
Oh yeah.
because a number can't be capitalized or lowercase. It's just a number. So.
When you make the number big, it's considered a sign. Or for instance, like your address. Let's just say your address is 2252 Walnut Street.
Mm-hmm.
On the green sign, like I live in Philly, so on the green sign, all that is in sign, is in big capital letters. So it's a sign. It's not English.
But we pronouncing the word walnut.
Right, but what language is it written in? That's the only thing that matters. What range, the language that is written in. I could say to you, that's a
Word is English. So, because if it was in all lowercase, it would say walnut. It's to me. It says both. Because
it's a
I was taught, and I'm not being funny, but my common sense logic is to tell me reason why they put things in all caps is to show that you need to really pay attention to what you're looking at.
oh, oh,
So
okay. Listen,
the reason why stop is not in lowercase letters, because
right.
you need to understand that means stop, and you need to stop immediately. And it's bigger. The letter is bigger, so it's a bigger expression. Because
Yeah,
when, like, I'm gonna give you an example. When I get angry and I'm mad, I tap in all
that's
caps to
right.
let
I know.
somebody know that this is important. You need to make sure you read every word. 'Cause I'm telling you.
That's part of the deaf culture. They consider us all deaf by law. This is law. This is.
You got you got my email, brother. You got it. You got to come back. You got to come back. I can't
This
deal
is
with this.
this is law. Like that's why the book I showed you is very important.
Hey, Jay, you see 222 all the time? Me too, brother. So that's what's up.
Like your name is are deaf, right? That the same capital letter that you see in your ID and your state ID is the same symbolism that you see on the graveyard, on a ledger, on a tombstone. It's
I don't
written the
know.
same way.
No, no, no. I don't know. It just don't. Cause I'm gonna be ready for you next time you come back. I'm gonna look up some of this stuff.
Yeah. Look at that book that I showed you and try to discredit it. That's all
I
I'm
ain't
asking.
no, I'm not. Hey, that's not Neo S job. I ain't finna discredit.
No. That's the only way you can see that what I'm speaking is somewhat factual. Have some
I'm not. No, this is a
that
philosophy.
have a
This is remember I told you this is a philosophy. I would never tell you that you're wrong. Only how I would tell you if you're wrong is when you're trying to tell me how I feel.
or
Like that's like if you try to get in my head and you're wrong, I'm gonna say get out my head. That is not what I feel. That's not what I said. That's the only time you're gonna hear me say you're wrong, because I know it's impossible for you to observe my consciousness. Just like I know it's impossible for me to get in your head. It's
right,
impossible. So but I'll never I ain't gonna never. I'm not here to discredit. If you got information you want to share, hey, I don't know. I can't speak for Sonetta or Garfield why they didn't let you. But maybe I don't know. I can't speak for them. But just know if you want to do a presentation or if you want to come back and do a bill with me, come back, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to anything. This is a philosophy channel, so
right,
you can't limit yourself. I still don't understand how people limit their beliefs and they stuff. But again, that patient thing that I'm learning how to be patient. I have to remind myself that everybody do not have that capability to see
right.
beyond the stars. You
Hold
know
on,
what I'm
let me.
saying? They so close minded. They can only see black and white. That's it. They
Right,
can't even see that it's not. There's no such thing as black and white. They can't even see that. So
uh,
so that's why I was messing with the lion baby, whatever his name is, when he asked me which pill did I take, the red or the blue pill, and I told him there is no pill. So,
right.
but
Yeah, I understand, but just try to
but but
because
you got
yeah,
the email, you saw it.
yes, I have it.
Please email me so you can come back, and if you want to do a presentation, whatever. But I'm not discredited. I ain't doing that.
But if I can make you understand, then I can make everybody else understand. But it's more complicated.
You
Like people,
can you can
just
try.
uh oh man.
You can try. Like I'm gonna give you an example. Look, I'm gonna give you something. You can try to make them understand, but I'm gonna give you an example. I have an ominous perspective. I believe all religions are true. Do you believe that?
uh, it means the bond. Yeah, so we all bonded. Like,
Yeah, but
even yeah,
I
yeah,
believe I believe all religions are true. Do you believe that?
in a way, because what we doing, we do a ritual every day. That's where the word right came from. Right mean ritual. People don't know that. And we do a ritual every day. Something that's reoccurring every day. You go to work, you go to pick them up. It's a ritual for the
So
God.
it's a ritual for the God, you said?
Yeah,
Huh.
yes. Because right derived from ritual. So anything you're doing right, it's a ritual.
Yeah, yeah, you can come back. But I was trying to see because I was gonna tell you because I use the concept that the religion is not to be taken literal.
No, no,
But
it's not. It's not. It's not.
yeah, it's
I
not to
could
be
prove
taken
that easily.
it's not to be taken literal, but I remind them these concepts that we have that when we think about God and a higher power and whatever, we all just trying to express that we are connected as one to a higher being. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's
But
a form of expression. That's why
right,
if I was only secluded into a jungle, let's say I didn't know anything outside the world, I never lived in a metropolis city, I was only restricted to the jungle. If one after a while, as I grow as a civilization, I can only use what's in the wilderness to describe what this God looked like. So it won't be too far fetched for me to say, this God looks like a tree or a koala bear or something like that. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Versus somebody who probably was raised in the desert and they make what lives in the desert a scorpion their God. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
feel like people imagination it's only limited to their environment and what they can perceive, and then they come up with the imagination of their God and their religion or whatever. But that's probably I'm gonna say that for tomorrow. So,
all right, yeah.
but,
Well,
but I
yeah.
get,
Thanks.
but like I said, what's your channel? Let me see if I can find your channel.
Oh, hey, let me see. What is my channel? Let me Drakidos.
You should have knew not to go over there talking the crap over there at Garfield channel, talking some conspiracy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to type my channel and
That's why I was like, what did Garfield say? Garfield's a smart guy. That's why I wanted to see what he said. Sonetta part, you probably was just boring, Sonetta. I mean, I can't speak for him, but Sonetta probably just got bored and
uh,
probably just wasn't
uh,
interested in what you had to say.
I
So,
can't. I can't write it in the private chat. Let me see. DR.
no, that is a private chat.
All right. Do you see my chat?
Yeah,
My
I'm the
name.
only one who can see that.
Yeah, I have a playlist to help you out. I think you need to watch them all. That's the only way to get to it. But you can also practice it on your own, and you can see. But the thing is, you need to learn like the English because English can't be written. Like for instance, like if any, it's all different signs. I can't even get into it, but that's the shortcut what I just explained to you.
Yeah, you making me feel some type of way, Thomas. I don't know English when
No,
everybody know
no,
that.
no, nobody does because they speaking
Hey,
it. Oh, okay,
I'm
let's check
I'm
this
about to
out.
go find my English teacher because I'm telling you, out of all the subjects in school, the one
Check,
I always did the worst was the English language. I always did the worst.
yo, check this out. Can I put a video in your chat? I would like for you.
Yeah, go ahead, but I'm not gonna play it. So, is this you? You only got 2 subscribers? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah, no, yeah. I don't have nothing on my channel.
okay?
Hold
Well,
on,
now
let me
you
see.
got three. You got three, so I
Yeah,
can
I
remember to go
don't,
back to
I
it.
don't, yeah, I don't do all that. I
No,
just,
no, you good. I was trying to make sure that was the channel though. So, but you got three deaf people language. Okay, I see it. All right. So I'm gonna check you out. This I just did this so I don't forget to check you out because I got a lot of stuff because I still got some reading material and some
yeah,
stuff I gotta for some assignments that Shekhem Ra gave me, and then I got a book that Chris Harris, my big brother, want me to check out. So I'm gonna get around to it. Just give me some time because I have a full time job.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Take your time, take your
yeah,
time, man.
I can't get enough cash out so I can quit my job. I ain't on that level yet. So now I still got these bills. So, but if anybody feeling generous, y'all know I don't really ask for money. But if you do want to support your girl or whatever, like I tell y'all this all the time, the best way to support Neo X is to like the video. Get my name out there circulating, like the video. But if you're feeling a little generous, whatever, that's my cash out. Like I said, any money that I get, I'm saving it. I'm not touching it. I'm saving it so I can upgrade my equipment. But I appreciate y'all showing me some love. Please, how do you pronounce your name? I'm sorry. Did I even ask you your name?
Oh well, don't worry about it.
No, no, I'm so sorry. That is so rude to me. What? How do you pronounce your name?
It's just a sign. It's Drakeo.
Oh,
If
call
if
you what? What? Just tell me what you want me to call you.
you just could call me Drake.
Drake. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
don't want to call you the sign. You make me feel like you like Prince, formerly known as, when he changed his name to the symbol, and he
Right.
became the artist formerly known as Prince. So I don't want to go through that. So just call you Dre.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. All right, Dre. But thank you for stopping by.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. And just please send me that email so we can get in touch. So I give you a slot sometime next week. It just this weekend I'm not doing any shows. So
I got you. But look into it on your own a little bit, cause it's a long way from what you've been learning for 30 years, and you come back to somebody telling you everything you learned was incorrect. That's on
I
you.
know I
Yeah.
deal with that all the time with the religious people.
Right.
I'm being honest. Every time I turn around, somebody tells me that I was taught the Bible wrong, even though I can understand the Bible from three different perspectives: a Christian perspective,
That-
a Hebrew Israelite perspective, and a Jewish perspective. But for some reason, I've been taught wrong. so, but all right, brother. Thank you for I don't kick anybody out. You can
all
exit
right.
yourself out. And like I said, thank you for supporting the channel. All right, family. It is 1:31 in the morning. I am tired, but I enjoyed the show. I hope y'all enjoyed the show with Shekhem Ra. I know I was supposed to do a commentary on the Woman King video. I'm still gonna do that. It's just like I said, it's with time. I work full time and I gotta find a way to make more time, but I still want to do this ominous presentation for y'all. I've been trying to save it. I wanted to save it for a debate, but it seemed like I can't get it. I just can't get the debate. People don't want to debate me on that because it's hard to debate spirituality, so I get it. But I definitely want to share just some of my philosophy with you guys and probably try to, just show y'all things from an ominous perspective of how I view religion and how I view the concept of religion, period you know. But let me see. I don't think I have nothing else coming up. I think it's a possibility. It's a guy named Robert Byrd, spelled with a Y, not an I. Byrd. He's a Philly officer that committed suicide, and I'm actually gonna go through his suicide note and just to tell y'all some of the things that I saw in his pain. That this guy ended his life. So I'm probably gonna be doing that Friday if I do decide to do a show going into the weekend. Because Friday I wanted to take a break, but there's somebody who I reached out to who I definitely want to talk to about that suicide note. But if I don't hear back from this person, then I'm definitely gonna do that episode sometime next week, maybe next Wednesday. So and then hopefully Dre, the sign, the sign guy. Hopefully he comes back. So maybe so we can dive deeper into what he's talking about. I see Jay said that he might, he think he on to something. Let's just, I don't close no door just because I don't comprehend something doesn't mean that the person is wrong. Sometimes I just need more information. That's how Neo X work. So, but if I see something just sound completely ridiculous, I probably will just dismiss it as crazy talk. But I don't think nobody's crazy, and I ain't want to dismiss the brother because I could tell that he was passionate and he wanted me to get it, but just Neil, I just couldn't connect. I'm still trying to connect exactly what he's saying. So I'm gonna try to think. Is there any other announcement? I think that's it. Again, anybody, if y'all want to be on my show, you know, do an interview. I appreciate Jay recognizing that I am trying to do more knowledge based interviews. Like I said, I'm not really with the drama or whatever. I see my subscriber list kind of went up after the drama that happened with old girl. If y'all really here for the drama, seeing me snapping and go off, then you might as well unsubscribe. Because I personally, I took the video down myself, y'all. I took the video down, even though this person tried to get it removed, and YouTube sided with me. On and matter of fact, I am going to do a response video tomorrow about everything if I can get around to it. I just kind of want to tell kind of like my final thoughts and how I'm just going to leave this drama alone, leave it where it's at. But hopefully y'all just see that it's not me. I just want to make it clear that y'all smart, y'all intelligent. I'm sure this person is watching now. I think they realizing that it's them, because damn if I do, damn if I don't. And I still don't understand why people think they can tell me what I can post on my page. I don't run their show, but for some reason they keep calling me, telling me what I can and can't post. But if y'all, like I said, if you're here for the drama, it's not the right place. I'm sorry y'all even had to see me get to that level, but I was hurt. Regardless however they want to take it, my feelings was hurt. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm human. Neo X has feelings. I still plug in and out the matrix sometimes. So I still feel stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you know your intentions was true and genuine, and somebody's still trying to paint you out to be a monster when it's really because they're the monster. Hopefully y'all get what I'm saying. But my feelings was hurt. Hopefully I can touch on it some more tomorrow. But yeah, that's my email, NeoXRed. For anybody who's been watching on Facebook, again, please come to the YouTube channel. The channel is called NeoX Philosophy and Me. Please come and subscribe to that channel, because eventually I'm going to stop posting my videos on Facebook. And I'm actually going to close down one of my Facebooks. The oldest page, I think eventually I'm going to close that one down so I can only have one page. But if you're on Facebook viewing this, please come to the YouTube channel, subscribe, because I'm going to stop streaming to Facebook. And I think I'm at 947 subscribers the last time I looked. Please, y'all, share the video, subscribe, whatever, just get it out there. Anybody who you think I'll be interested in with an interview, somebody you might know, let me know, let me reach out to them. I will. Like I said, this page, this channel, no discrimination. I think the only thing I probably won't touch, if somebody like, I wouldn't even say that. I would let somebody who practice Satanism come and talk on this show. I was going to say maybe if they practice that, but I wouldn't even do that, because you'll be surprised how they view things too. So no judgment, but this show is open to any form of religion, any form of philosophy, any beliefs or whatever. Just come and chat with your girl and see, you never know what can come out of it. But I think that's it. Well, the subscriber count, I think I lost track of that. I'm at 947. Please subscribe. Get me to 1,000 so I can start monetizing my videos. So then that would motivate me to put out better quality videos, for me to hustle more, to build my channel. And it'd be cool to do this shit full time. Driving trucks is all right. I only do it for the money. It's not I don't even like driving, but I make good money doing it, so I do it. So, but I would love to do this full time. Like, shoot, if I don't hit that lottery soon, y'all know when I hit that lottery soon, y'all see me saying this is my last episode, because I'm out. But all right, so no more questions in the chat. I don't see anything new. I only see Jay last comment. But thank y'all for the love and support. I am out of here. And for real, what I want to say, love, light, everything gonna be all right. And according to Shekhem Ra, is written in the stars. That's how he knows everything gonna be all right. Don't sleep on Shekhem Ra. I learned that is officially on the record. I'm saying that is my teacher, y'all. He's the first one that I'm acknowledging who's teaching me some stuff in this Shekhem Ra. So, but peace, family, peace, peace, peace. Keep your head up. Everything will be all right. I'm out of here.